5 to the 5 in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark 5 to the 5.
5 minutes to the 5-minute gun. That means in 5 minutes we will have unlimited hydros on the Bill Munsey race course. 2.5 miles oval here on Mission Bay. This is Home Street Bank, Heat 1A. And here's who will be in Heat 1A. The U11 Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&Ds, driven by Tom Thompson. The U21 Darryl Strong presents Payne West Insurance, driven by Brian Perkins. And the U99.9 Car Star, powered Miss Rock, driven by Aaron Salmon. Quietest time before an unlimited hydroplane race is the time between the 5 minutes to the 5-minute gun, and that 5-minute gun gets very, very quiet in the pits. All three of our boats in the water and ready to go. Drivers all strapped in and ready to go. Final instructions, game faces being put on. Coming up in about 2.5 minutes to the 5-minute gun. Checking our folks on Ski Beach. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. It's for your safety, for the safety of everybody around you. Looking good over there on Fiesta Island as well. Everybody out of the water, off the sand. We're about 1.5 minutes from having our unlimited hydroplanes on the race course for Home Street Bank Heat 1A of the Bill Munsey Cup 2018. We'll give you a countdown for 1 minute to the 5-minute gun.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark 1 to the 5.
1 minute to the 5-minute gun. Boats getting ready. Hatches going down. Hatch is closed on the U21. Darryl Strong presents Payne West Insurance. They were lowering the hatch on the U11, but it came back up. Aaron Salmon. Hatch goes down on the U99.9.
on the course.
Green flag. Unlimited hydroplanes coming out for Home Street Bank Heat 1A. Everybody off the dock almost simultaneously. Brian Perkins in the U21 leads them away. Tom Thompson in the U11. Still trying to fire up the U99.9. CarStar powered Miss Rock. Brian Perkins trying a little bit of a different maneuver to try and keep that salt water out of the turbine engine to pop it up on plane without getting much water over the bow, and he did. He was very successful. Here comes Aaron Salmon, the starting sequence for that T55 L7 turbine engine. Underway, pulls away from the dock. Right away, Brian Perkins cuts through the infield. Starting sequence, the slicing and dicing has begun. Tom Thompson will go all the way around the north end of the race course. And here comes Aaron Salmon in the U99.9. And Brian Perkins up the backstretch here. Just about 3.5 minutes to go before the start. Now, we told you about score-ups for both the 1 liters and the Grand Prix. These guys know scoring up. They just go for it.
They actually have assigned lanes. Yes, they do. Oh, okay.
I'm not going
to. Sorry. That's okay.
Three boats up and running on the race course. Tom Thompson comes through the SeaWorld turn in the U11.
Just so you guys know, this is Mission Bay, San Diego. This is Mission Bay, San Diego. This is a saltwater course, so the boats are running those scoops over the cockpit. That's to keep the engine safe from the salt water, because the salt water gets on the engine, it'll cut it off, it'll ruin the engine. So you'll notice the boats running that scoop over the cockpit. On this course, the boats reach way over 200 miles an hour on the straightaways. They're hitting at least 208 to 210 miles an hour on the straightaway. Barely even on the water. So right now they're just starting to, is what they call the milling period. It's like a race before the race. It's like you're trying to time your position and get into lane 1 or you know your best running lane. So when the clock strikes 0, you hit that start finish line right at 0, and you guys will have a clean start. So they are literally pushing. They have to stay above 80 miles an hour during this period of time. So they're literally above 80 miles an hour right now. Hell, maybe even 90 to 100 right now. And then it doesn't even look like it, but yeah. You got 1 minute to the race start, and then they score up right here. 1 minute. The start finish line is on the other side. So here we go. I love this. I love this race course.
We'll wait to see them come up at full speed. It's going to be a great view. Tom Thompson on the inside. Brian Perkins in lane number 2. Aaron Salmon lane number 3 on the outside. CarStar powered Miss Rock. They know they're 30 seconds away right now, and pretty soon they're going to start to kick up those rooster tails. And as I say that, here comes Aaron Salmon on the outside, all 3 of them in fact, kicking up those rooster tails. Brian Perkins going to lead him down. We'll see how far. Nope, it's going to be Tom Thompson on the inside that leads him down, but Brian Perkins is right next to him. About 4 seconds. 1, mark. That's the start. They're racing. Heat 1A, Home Street Bank, the Bill Muncie Cup for 2018. Tom Thompson on the inside leads him into turn number 1. Brian Perkins was right next to him at the start, but it's Tom Thompson on the inside, and they turn toward us to come up the backstretch. There's Brian Perkins.
I love this view right here because you can see how they are barely on the water.
Half a rooster tail behind Tom Thompson as they come up the backstretch, and it was a good start. Nobody jumped the gun. Aaron Salmon trailing in third place. But you've got a great race up the backstretch with Tom Thompson on the inside and Brian Perkins on the outside of him. About half a rooster tail separates the two of them as they come to the SeaWorld turn. Brian Perkins trying to reel in Tom Thompson, and the Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's U11. But Thompson is off the turn already. We're going 3 times around. He's got a rooster tail lead because of the shorter way around the race course on the inside lane. And at the end of lap 1, it's Tom Thompson in the U11 finishing first in lap 1. And it's Brian Perkins in second, lap 1. Aaron Salmon will come down to complete lap number 1 just about now. But it's Tom Thompson in the lead as they come to the apex of turn number 1. Right next to him is Brian Perkins. I think Brian maybe made up a little ground. We'll see as they come off the turn. Tom Thompson still in the lead on the outside, but there's Brian Perkins right next to him. Darrell Strong presents Payne West Insurance, the U21 on the outside. On the inside, it's the U11. Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's. They are side by side halfway up the backstretch. Brian Perkins back maybe 4 or 5 boat lengths. This is going to be a doozy of a race here in Heat 1A. Tom Thompson kicks up the big skid fin rooster tail, the apex of the SeaWorld turn on lap number 2, and Brian Perkins is a little closer than he was at this point on lap number 1, trying to track him down. We got the 99 point down, has gone dead in the water. They've got plenty of racing room. It's Tom Thompson at the end of lap number 2, and Brian Perkins right on his hip as they cross the finish line. White flag is flying, and they will be looking for the checkered flag the next time around. Tom Thompson at the apex of turn number 1. Brian Perkins, from our view here up at the pits, is hidden in the rooster tail. You just barely see the boat. Tom Thompson takes him a little bit wider, heads out to about lane number 3. So Brian Perkins will have to go a little farther and see if he can track down Tom Thompson in the Reliable Diamond Tools presents J&D's. Here they come up the backstretch. Perkins is about a half a rooster tail behind, right where he was on lap number 2, halfway up the backstretch. They'll make the turn at the SeaWorld end of the race course for the 3rd and final time. Brian Perkins lost a little ground. He is just about a full rooster tail behind Tom Thompson in the U11. And they'll come off the SeaWorld turn, head down the front straightaway, and they will look for that checkered flag. Tom Thompson now has opened up a full rooster tail plus lead as he comes down, across the line at the end of lap number 3, and he is the winner of Heat 1A. Tom Thompson, the U11 Reliable Diamond Tool, presents J&D's, and about a rooster tail behind is Brian Perkins, U21. Darrell Strong presents Payne West Insurance.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, yeah, the San Diego race is no joke. The San Diego race is no joke. I love the San Diego race. It's so fast. It's so damn fast.
Really good race. Lost Aaron Salmon down in the corner there, not quite to the corner. Went dead in the water. But a good race between Tom Thompson and Brian Perkins. They'll bring the boat slowly back up the backstretch. And we will get ready for Heat 1B. Home Street Bank Heat 1B. So we'll get a tow on Aaron Salmon, bring him back to the pit area. So those of you on Ski Beach, we've got boats running, so we can't have you in the water and can't have you on the sand. You got to get off the sand. The San Diego Bayfair Board of Governors would like to thank the hundreds of volunteers who make Bayfair possible. When you have a chance, you see a volunteer today, tell them thank you. Race fans, create your own personalized graphics for your watercraft from IDP Graphics. Choose from 18 different color options, fully custom, fit race numbers, racer name, and more. You'll find them on the web at idpjetskigraphics.com. Race fans, we're about to go for a countdown here for Unlimited Heat 1B, presented by Home Street Bank. Countdown coming up. Everybody out of the water and off the beach.
Countdown for 5 to the 5. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. 5 to the 5.
5 minutes to the 5-minute gun for Unlimited Heat 1B, presented by Home Street Bank. And this is going to be a very interesting heat. We have our top 2 boats in the National High Point standings. On the, let's see, on the inside, we think, will be Delta Reel Track with Andrew Tate. Also looking to take this heat, the Miss Home Street with Jimmy Shane. And the 440 Bucket List with Dustin Eccles. So we've got 3 boats for Heat 1B. And we'll have racers on the water here. Just about 4 minutes, a little more than 4 minutes to go before that 5-minute gun. So checking out Ski Beach, we see a few people who are on the sand. Don't see anybody in the water, but we see a few people on the sand, so we need to get you up off of the sand and back onto the grassy area. Over on Fiesta Island, that looks pretty clean over there. Thanks for your help. We've got the 99.9 that went dead in the water down quite a ways from here, holding in the area where hydros cannot go, where the patrol boats and the judge boats are in the turns here at the SeaWorld turn, so they'll hold him until this heat is over. .440 bucket list, driven by Dustin Eccles. We saw Dustin's daughter Findlay in a J stock hydro just a little while ago here on Mission Bay. So the next generation of Eccles racers would be a third generation with Mark Eccles and now Dustin and now Findlay. And we have Andrew Tate getting set in the U9 reel track, and Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street, the U1. Just a little more than 2.5 minutes to go before the 5-minute gun, and we have H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes on the race course for Heat 1B, presented by Home Street Bank. Seeing our safety crew on the gators going up and down Ski Beach. Please follow their instructions. They're there for your safety. A lot more racing coming up after our Heat 1B. We've got our final for the 1 liters. That's coming up in probably about half an hour. And then our second heat for Grand Prix World Supercharged Hydroplanes. They will be on the water for their second heat of the day, a little later on as well. Coming up on a countdown now for the 5-minute gun. Boats coming out on the water right after that. That's 1 minute to the 5-minute gun. The hatches are down on the U9 Delta reel track, the 440 bucket list racing. Just about to close the hatch on Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street. Count coming up for the 5-minute gun.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5 minutes. Green flags on the course.
Green flag on the course. 5-minute gun has fired, and we are ready to go with Home Street Bank Heat 1B. Right next to each other, only a couple feet apart, the U1 Miss Home Street and the U9 Delta Reel Track. Heading off the dock, they were on opposite sides of the same dock. Momentarily, we'll see Dustin Eccles in the 440, now pulling away from the dock. Water looks really good for some good, quick racing. Dustin Eccles looking to continue the consistency that he's had throughout this season. Comes into this race in 4th place in the national high point standings. And the orange boat, the U440 Bucket List Racing, is on plane and running, and as we speak, crosses from the outer side to the inside race course. Here, the Bill Munsey race course on Mission Bay. Andrew Tate cuts through the 1 mile and 2/3 course for the Grand Prix. He'll come to the backstretch from the front side. Jimmy Shane goes all the way to the north end. So Andrew will be leading the band coming up the backstretch. Behind him, Jimmy Shane. Dustin Eccles just going through the turn right now. Come up to join these guys. They still have a little ways to go. Just a little more than 3 minutes before the start. Shane lags back a little bit, moves to the outside in lane number 2 at the moment. And Dustin Eccles comes up about lane number 3, lane number 4, coming up the backstretch. But at the moment, we've got boats all over the race course. So they'll be tightening it up here in the next minute and a half. Dustin running through a little bit of the slop from the first 2 boats as they come through the SeaWorld turn. Now he's moved outside the wake. And Jimmy Shane comes through the infield. Front straightaway to the back. Mark Tate inside of him, coming up the backstretch. We're right about 2 minutes. 2 minutes to the start. Andrew Tate just about a full turn here at the SeaWorld end of the race course behind Jimmy Shane. Dustin Eccles going slowly down along Fiesta Island. So they will come and catch up with him. And at that point, it'd be pretty close to time for them to head up here as we get close to 1 minute to go before the start. Andrew Tate lagging back just a little bit. Eccles slows down through the turn. Jimmy Shane kicks up a little bit of a skid fin rooster tail. He'll come up alongside Dustin Eccles. Coming up on the 1 minute.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark 1 minute.
1 minute, and the official says white flags on the race course. So here are the lanes. It will be the Delta Reel track, U9, Andrew Tate in lane number 1. In lane number 2, it'll be Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street. In lane number 3, it will be the U440 Bucket List Racing with Dustin Eccles. You see Dustin lead him up the way here in the backstretch. And he's actually quite a bit early. It's 30 seconds. Either that or they're going to be a little bit late at the start. Dustin's scrubbing off some time, going way, way wide. Now Jimmy Shane starts to pick up the tempo, and so does Andrew Tate. He will come up alongside Shane. Tate on the inside, Shane in lane 2. He's going to be the middle boat. Dustin Eccles as they make the run down to the starting line. 5, 4, 2, 1. Going to be a pretty close start, and it'll be Andrew Tate who leads them through that first turn. Tate in the U9 Delta Rail track. On the inside, but you can see the blue of Miss Home Street. It is a good start. Officials rule it a good start. And we've got Andrew Tate on the inside, Jimmy Shane on the outside, and Shane is leading him through the turn by 4 or 5 boat lengths as they head up the backstretch. Dustin Eccles trails in third in the 440 Bucket List Racing. But you got a great race here for first and second between the top 2 boats in the National High Point standings. Jimmy Shane, your defending national champion. Andrew Tate is the current national champion, having won that at Detroit 3 weeks ago in the Gold Cup. Shane has about a half a rooster tail lead. Coming off the SeaWorld turn. It doesn't matter that the national championship's already been determined. These two guys are determined to race against each other as hard as they can all weekend long. At the end of lap 1, it is Shane, the Miss Home Street. We have the 9, the Delta Rail Track, second across the line at the end of lap number 1. And here comes Dustin Eccles to finish third in lap number 1. But it's Jimmy Shane who leads Andrew Tate through turn number 1. Coming off the turn, almost a full rooster tail lead. Even though Andrew Tate is on the inside, he's not taking advantage of that shorter way around the racetrack. And Jimmy Shane halfway up the backstretch now. This is where the wind blows through Fisherman's Cut. You got to be really careful about keeping the boat on the water. Both of them do. Shane is now lengthening his lead over Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has slowed down a bit. He has gone now to the outside. End of lap number 2 coming up for Jimmy Shane. Shane with a lengthy lead now over Andrew Tate. At the end of lap number 2, white flag is flying now. Andrew Tate, for some reason, slowed down as he was about halfway up the backstretch, then moved out into lane number 2. He is second across the line at the end of lap number 2. Jimmy Shane already now just about through turn number 1 as Andrew Tate enters turn number 1. Shane on lap number 3 would go 3 times around in our preliminary heats, and Shane has this one all to himself. 440, the bucket list. Dustin Eccles finishes lap number 2 in third place. So we've got boats now strung out all along the racetrack. Jimmy Shane has this one under control. Comes up the backstretch of the SeaWorld turn. Through the SeaWorld turn on the exit pin coming up. Checkered flag coming up now for Jimmy Shane and the Miss Home Street. Andrew Tate just entering the SeaWorld turn right now. Sound doesn't sound really good there. End of lap number 3. Jimmy Shane with the checkered flag. Heat 1B, presented by Home Street Bank. Here comes Andrew Tate to take the checkered flag, and he will finish second in Heat 1B. And the bucket list racing with Dustin Eccles. He is just finishing the SeaWorld turn. Will make the left-handed turn on the exit pin and come down to take the checkered flag for third place. So unofficially, Jimmy Shane, a first place finish. Andrew Tate, a second place finish. And a third place finish goes to Dustin Eccles. Now we say that these are unofficial because the boats do have to go through tech. And if they have exceeded some of the parameters they're limited in, they can lose points, they can lose place, they can be disqualified. So unofficially, Jimmy Shane in the U1 Miss Home Street, a first place finish. Second place finish for the Delta Rail Track, Andrew Tate. And a third place finish for Dustin Eccles in the U440 bucket list racing. We'll have heats 2A and 2B, 3A and 3B, and the championship Bill Muncie Cup final all tomorrow, but we're not done racing today. We've got our 1 liters, we've got our Grand Prix World Supercharged hydroplanes. They still have racing to go this afternoon, so don't go away.
See all 4 participants lined up. Miss Home Street on the bottom, followed by the Oxshire Marketing Delta Rail Track, then Spirit of Detroit, Graham Trucking, American Dream. There's the 6-minute period. 6-minute period is in session. Start-finish line buoy right here below the pit area in Madison, just south of Mulberry Street. The crafts will travel to the right-hand side of us up into turn number 1 or the west turn. They'll thunder up the back straightaway, the Trimble County, Kentucky shoreline of the Ohio River, greet the fans camping out and watching the Gold Cup in Milton, Kentucky. They'll go into turn number 2 or the bridge turn. Long chutes here for this 2-mile track, tight turns. As we mentioned earlier, you want to do well in the first tee of the weekend to get those points built. get some momentum going. You don't want to beat yourself here in 1A or 1B. 5 minutes and 10 seconds until the start. There's the 5-minute period. 5-minute period in session for Unlimited 1A. The Unlimited hydroplanes, the world's fastest racing boats, 28 foot in length, 14 foot wide. 6 of our 7 participants powered by the T55 Lycoming turbine engine. Generates 2,600 horsepower, 6,700 pound racing vessel. As all 4 leave the dock, first out the home street blue and white, Jimmy Shane, followed by the bright red with the blue and white striping, Spirit of Detroit. Next out is your defending APBA Gold Cup champion, Andrew Tate in the U1. Auction Marketing presents Delta Real Track. And following Tate to his left is the red, white, and blue Corey Peabody in the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. It is a clock start format. All boats in the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Series has a beacon light on top of the cowling. You have to stay above 80 miles per hour during the warm-up period. If the officials feel you're violating that 80 mile per hour rule off plane, you could be issued a 1-minute penalty. That will be something to watch as well with the video online with H1 Unlimited streaming. Up in turn number 2, that's the hometown favorite, the home street blue and white, the Miss Madison Incorporated based U6 Miss Home Street. Jimmy Shane, the driver, a native of Havre de Grace, Maryland, now resides in Maple Valley, Washington. Your Gold Cup winner in 2014, 15, and 17, the U6 Miss Home Street. Off turn number 2 here in the warm-up period. It is the dominant red with the blue and white striping. It's the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Bert Henderson's chauffeurs out of Brockville, Ontario, Canada. The owner out of Detroit is Dave Bardish. There's your defending APBA Gold Cup champion by the start-finish line buoy. That was Andrew Tate in the dominant white with the orange and yellow effect. U1 Auction Marketing, Delta Real Track. Andrew Tate hails from Walled Lake, Michigan. The boat owners, Lori and Mike Jones, out of Lake Tapps, Washington. And our final boat down in turn number 1 is the red, white, and blue U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. Corey Peabody drives out of Kent, Washington. The boat owner is Rob Graham out of Milton, Washington. We are coming up on the 2-minute period, 2 minutes. You can cut the race course, back chute to front chute, just right across from us from the start-finish line buoy prior to the entrance pin of turn number 2. You can cut into the infield on the front chute to back chute only at the GPW turn 1 course prior to the DMZ zone down in turn number 1. 1 minute and 40 seconds until the start. It is Unlimited 1. Now Shane, you saw, made a maneuver, crisscrossed that front chute, but that was a legal maneuver. Plenty of boat lengths. Looks like he wants lane number 1. We're 1 minute and 25 seconds until the start. Now the U98 powers up on the outside, the Graham Trucking American Dream. Right now, Shane looks like he has a good stake at lane number 1, but lots to decide before they get to that entrance pin at turn number 2 prior to the start. Coming up on the 1 minute period. All 4 boats entering turn number 1. There's Shane to the inside. 1 minute period is come and gone. Shane right now, lane number 1. Andrew Tate trying to slide into that 2 lane. Bert Henderson in 3. Corey Peabody will go to the outside. 45 seconds away. Shane appears to be ideal on his timing marks. As we look above the Ohio River as the boats creep down the back straightaway. Shane is in 1. Tate is in 2. Henderson is in 3. Peabody is in 4. 30 seconds away for Unlimited Heat 1A for the American Powerboat Association APBA Gold Cup here at the 69th Madison Regatta. 20 seconds away, and by my timing mark, Shane looks ideal. 16 there at that entrance pin. Shane in 1, Tate in 2, Henderson in 3, Peabody in 4. This looks to be an ideal start as we begin our APBA Gold Cup in Madison, Indiana. As they come to the line, you see the clock, you see the line. It looks legal from here. We're racing in Unlimited 1A in the APBA Gold Cup. Bert Henderson, a stout engine on the outside in lane number 3, leads in turn number 1. Let's go to the drone shot, and now Jimmy Shane takes the lead in lane number 1 in Miss Home Street. Andrew Tate trouble down there in turn number 1 in lane 2 in second. Bert Henderson actually second in Spirit of Detroit. Tate in third, Peabody in fourth. Boy, Shane, a valuable lane number 1, leads it. Halfway up the back straightaway, it's Shane in front, and Henderson, a dynamite ride in second in lane 3 in the Spirit of Detroit. Your defending champion in third. This is critical points for second. Here in Unlimited 1A, the start was good. Start was good. We will come down to complete lap number 1 of 4. Your leader is the U6 Miss Home Street with Jimmy Shane making 2 Rooster Tails over Bert Henderson, driving a dynamite 1 here in 1A in the Spirit of Detroit. Andrew Tate, your defending champion, has work to do. In third position in Auction Marketing, Delta Real Track. From the sky, it's Shane comfortably in front. But with Henderson running on the outside wake of Shane, that's going to be an advantage for Tate. Tate trying to make up ground on the inside for the second place position. Peabody in third. Beautiful shot down the back chute as Shane extends his lead. Make it 2.5 Rooster Tails. Henderson still in second. Tate in third. Peabody in fourth. As you see, Henderson now he extends it out a little bit, about a tail and a half over Tate in third. Your leader, Jimmy Shane, exiting turn number 2 with the Milton Madison Bridge in the background. We're halfway through Unlimited 1A, and it's the hometown favorite, Miss Home Street, in front. Second place, Bert Henderson, and boy, these are going to be valuable 300 if he can hang on for 2 more laps in second in the Spirit of Detroit. Andrew Tate had that trouble in turn number 1 on lap number 1, fighting hard in third. In Auction Marketing, Delta Real Track, all 3, the top 3 in turn number 1. Now Shane has gone outside the pins a little bit to try to find smoother water, maybe trying to put Tate at a disadvantage in that third position with his wake, but comfortably in front. It's the Madison, Indiana-based Miss Home Street with Jimmy Shane. Bert Henderson, he's drove a beauty, still has work to do. And Tate trying to make up ground on the inside as a blister into turn number 2. There's Henderson. Tate's got it down to about 10 boat lengths per second. White flag is displayed. 3 in the books and 1 to go for your leader, Jimmy Shane, in front. Here's the battle. Let's keep the cameras on the second place position. Bert Henderson. His second place advantage is now down to 7 boat lengths. Shane comfortably in front. Peabody remains in fourth, but here's your battle for second in Unlimited 1A. You don't want to beat yourself here early on, and Bert Henderson is trying to hold on for these second place points. Nice turn by Bert, and boy, Andrew's boat just not working well on the pins on the inside of the Auction Marketing Delta Real Track. And now Henderson extends it back out for second with a half a lap to go. Your leader, Jimmy Shane, entering turn number 2, will keep this eye on second. Henderson in second. Tate in third. Shane swinging way outside as the camera widens. Now from the aerial, here's your winner of Unlimited 1A, Jimmy Shane and Miss Home Street. Here's your battle for second. Here comes Tate. Here's Henderson. Did Bert go to sleep? No, it's Bert Henderson. Wow. By 2 boat lengths over Andrew Tate in the third position in the Auction Marketing Delta Real Track. And we see Corey Peabody back in the fourth position, trying to come around and get those 169 points in fourth position in the Graham Trucking American Dream. But boy, this Gold Cup, Brad Luce and I have been fortunate to work many up in Detroit. This first heat of the weekend, the A and B section, you don't want to beat yourself. You want to score well. And Bert Henderson, what a valuable 300 there, and what a great run by him in lane number 3. As you saw from the aerial up in turn number 1, Andrew Tate was in lane number 2, and it looked like his boat was having trouble negotiating the tighter turns here in Madison as the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream crosses the finish line in the 4th position. And now, thank you, Joe, we look up the U6, Miss Home Street, there he is, Joe, right here. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. The U1, now he's refired, okay. Thank you, Joe. We thought we had your defending champion, Dan, but he refired, so he'll come back in under his own power. And there's your unofficial winner of Unlimited Heat 1A here at the APBA Gold Cup, Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street. The boats will go through tech inspection after Unlimited's 1A and 1B. So we're off and rolling here at the APBA Gold Cup. And boy, dynamite camera minute mark for Unlimited 1B. Sorry for the microphone twist down. Had to take a little bit of break there, Kellen. Great job by you with the camera angles with the board up here. Tate Meyer up here heading the operation with his camera. His brother over in Milton, Kentucky, and of course the drone footage so far today and last week at Guntersville during the live coverage here of H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing has just been nothing but fabulous. Fabulous work with these young men. 6 minutes and 15 seconds until the start. Just a pleasure for this old timer to be down helping these young men, and glad to do it. Coming up on the 6 minute mark. 6 minutes. 6 minutes until Unlimited 1B. If you just joined us, the Madison, Indiana race course, 2 miles in length. The preliminary heats are 4 laps. The winner-take-all Gold Cup Championship tomorrow afternoon will be a 5-lap finale. 5:40 away, 5:40. All 3 boats for 1B in the water, been in there for some time. Drivers are getting their last second instructions from the crew. The lid is already down on the 440 Bucket List Racing. Lid down, it appears to be on the 11. J&D's presented by Reliable Diamond Tool, Tom Thompson. 10 seconds until 5 minutes, and right now, nope, there it goes. I thought there might have been some last-minute antics going on with the arm motion with the crew members on the Graham Trucking, but the capsule is closed for J. Michael Kelly. Boats being pointed out toward the shore. Crank them up. 4:45 away, 4:45. The bright orange boat, that is the experimental craft in the H1 Unlimited Series. A little bit smaller, less horsepower. Looking at a boat about 26 foot long compared to the others in the fleet at 28 feet. The 440 Bucket List Racing is powered by the T53 Lycoming turbine engine, cranks out about 1,400 horsepower. And of course, that was the same motor used back in 1974 with the first competitive turbine in unlimited hydroplane racing, the U95, but they had 2 T53s in it with that elaborate gearbox design and a very competitive boat, the U95, until its days ended at Lake Washington Sandpoint in 1974. 3 minutes and 55 seconds until the start. The view from above, all 3 drivers left the pit dock. J. Michael Kelly out first, followed by Tom Thompson and Dustin Eccles. ID the boats for you as they make their way up the back straightaway. There is the U12, the dominant red with the metallic silver. Love those effects on the cowling and the vertical. The driver of the U12 Graham Trucking, J. Michael Kelly, out of Bonnie Lake, Washington, your 2016 APBA Gold Cup champion. craft owner Rob Graham out of Milton, Washington. The crew chief, the veteran Tom Anderson out of Seattle. 3:10 away behind the 12. We'll get a better look as he appears behind the tail up in turn number 2. There it is, the beautiful Chartreuse and Carnival Orange. It's the U11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. 56-year-old Tom Thompson drives out of Cambridge, Maryland. The craft owners are Shannon and Scott Rainey out of Edmonds, Washington. Scott serves as the crew chief for the 11. And here's the little boat that can get it done. Had a good run last week at the Southern Cup at Lake Guntersville, Alabama. It's the Bright Orange 440 Bucket List Racing. Dustin Eccles drives out of Monroe, Washington. The craft owners are Sharon and Kelly Stockland out of Snohomish, Washington. And the crew chief is the young Taylor Evans. As you see from above, 2:15 away. Kelly halfway up the chute, stalked by Thompson. Eccles off turn number 1 here in the warm-up period. 3-boat heat. Lucky to get the 3-boat heat. As we mentioned earlier, you don't want to beat yourself here in the first section of heats. J. Michael Kelly has a knack of getting lane number 1, and right now it looks like he's got great stake for it, but plenty of time to decide before your lane is established prior to the entrance pin of turn number 2. 140 until the start. Kelly on the buoy row. Thompson back about 1 tail in the 2 lane. And I believe Dustin Eccles will settle to the outside here in Unlimited 1B. 125 away. So it's Kelly, the runner-up at last weekend's Southern Cup at Guntersville, Alabama. Tom Thompson to the outside. Now Dustin Eccles getting closer here in the milling period as we're approaching the 1-minute mark. Beautiful shot from above. Kelly in 1, Thompson in 2, Eccles in 3. 1 minute has come and gone, and I expect it to stay this way early on. No need to risk equipment, no need to risk other drivers. Just stay where you are and let the best man win when the clock strikes 0. Now Thompson did pull out a little bit. Is he going to try to creep over? Good aerial there on the back chute. Not enough boat lengths to do that. So Thompson will lead him up. Kelly and Eccles trails back. 25 seconds until the start. Should be at that 16-second marker at the entrance of turn number 2. Thompson might be ideal because he's out in lane number 2 away from the pins. Kelly trailing back. 10 seconds away. Kelly in 1. Thompson in 2. Eccles in 3. Here we come to the line for Unlimited 1B at the APBA Gold Cup. And I think Thompson could be over. We'll call it physically. Could a mistake been made by the veteran chauffeur out of Maryland? We'll call it physically into turn number 1. Tom Thompson is in front in lane number 2. J. Michael Kelly making up ground on the buoy row, and Kelly carves a dynamite turn on the buoy row in the Graham Trucking. Thompson in second, and we do have a penalty. Tom Thompson has jumped the starting clock in the number 11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. That will vault Dustin Eccles into the second position. 1 minute penalty for Tom Thompson. We go into turn number 2. Your leader is J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking, and the first mistake of the weekend goes to the veteran shoe in second, Tom Thompson. He'll be issued a 1 minute penalty in the J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Physically on the course, it's Kelly in first, Thompson in second, Eccles in third, but right now, Eccles would vault to second because he's well within the 1 minute frame of elapsed time here in this heat. J. Michael Kelly in turn number 1 in the Graham Trucking, your 2016 Gold Cup winner. Now you see from the aerial, he has moved away from the buoy row some, and that forces Tom Thompson more out as well in the number 11. Running physically second, but third here in 1B. J. Michael Kelly took advantage of lane number 1, kept his cool inside the capsule, made a clean start, and that's going to prove valuable here in Unlimited 1B. Beautiful shot with the Milton Madison Bridge in the background. We're at the halfway mark of Unlimited 1B, and it's all J. Michael Kelly in front. Flies the boat for the Indiana fans here on the shoreline. Working down into turn number 1. Tom Thompson running physically in second, but in the third position with the 1-minute penalty and gun jump. Dustin Eccles in the bucket list racing off turn number 2, and these will be a valuable 300 for the Bright Orange out of Snohomish, Washington. Eccles 2 down and 2 to go, actually running in the second position, but physically third on the track. J. Michael Kelly, 2.5 in, 1.5 to go, streaks up the Trimble County shoreline in the U12. Graham Trucking puts it on the hook. Keeping it smooth, keeping it out of trouble, keeping it well away from those course markers. If you dislodge one, that's a minute penalty. White flag displayed, 3 in the books and 2 more miles to go for J. Michael Kelly, comfortably in front in the Graham Trucking. Beautiful shot with Kelly entering turn number 1 with the power plant in the background. Here's Tom Thompson, physically second, but in third with that 1-minute penalty in the J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Spread out here in 1B. Eccles entering turn number 2. You see J. Michael Kelly well out in front, the right-hand side of your screen. There he is, halfway up the back chute. 1/2 lap to go to victory here in the Graham Trucking. Dustin Eccles just by the start-finish line buoy in that third position physically, but actually second on the track. J. Michael Kelly swinging way outside, close to the insurance markers. Here's your winner of Unlimited 1B at the APBA Gold Cup in Madison, Indiana, J. Michael Kelly in the U12 Graham Trucking. That's a big 400 for the Graham Trucking camp out of Milton, Washington. Here's the mistake. I know he'll be disappointed. He's a Charger. He'll come back in that second flight, no doubt. Tom Thompson crosses physically in second in the J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. He'll fall to that third spot because Dustin Eccles, well within that 1-minute range, running in second in the bucket list racing. There's Dustin up in turn number 2 as we see Thompson on the cool-off lap in turn number 1. And we look away from the camera, and here's your second place finisher in Unlimited 1B. That's Dustin Eccles in the bucket list racing. So our first set of heats are in the books here at the 2019 APBA Gold Cup at the 69th Madison Regatta. J. Michael Kelly, no doubt the favorite on paper going in, and he proved that to be true, winning Unlimited. Now 5 minutes has come and gone. Drivers, let's crank them up. Get the whistle here in the background momentarily. All 4 boats, the noses pointed away from the pit dock. Water conditions have been ideal throughout the weekend. Yesterday and today we have brought some debris issues, more debris yesterday than we have thought today. 3 have left. We're still waiting on the Bright Orange bucket list racing to pop up in a planing attitude with Dustin Eccles. 4 minutes and 15 seconds until the start. Boy, this Unlimited 2A here, Tom Thompson drew that 4-boat heat. He needs to score and needs to score well to move up from that 6th position. Bert Henderson, critical heat for him, currently 3rd in points, and J. Michael Kelly would love a win and put that boat back on the trailer and look for the draws tomorrow for 3A and 3B. Kelly currently setting 2nd in points, Henderson in 3rd, Thompson in the 6th spot, and Eccles is actually right now the 4th boat in points. He would be on the front row of the final as of right now, but we still got more things to decide, more action here on the Ohio River with 2A, 2B tomorrow, 3A, 4A3B and 4A4B, and of course the winner-take-all final. ID the boats for you up here in turn number 1. The dominant red with the blue and white striping down the decking. That is Bert Henderson out of Brockville, Ontario, Canada, driving for Dave Bardish out of Detroit. It's the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Boat cutting through the infield. That is a legal maneuver in the warm-up period. That is the dominant red, metallic silver, the U12 Graham Trucking. J. Michael Kelly drives out of Bonnie Lake, Washington for the owner, Rob Graham from Milton, Washington. J. Michael Kelly, your 2016 APBA Gold Cup champion. As the boats go away from us on the aerial, boat to the inside with the two together, that is the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange U11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. The veteran Tom Thompson in the cockpit. Out of Cambridge, Maryland, the craft owners are Shannon and Scott Rainey out of Edmonds, Washington. And the fourth boat, the bright orange, the little guy, but a big heart, Dustin Eccles in the 440 Bucket List Racing. You see all four on the back straightaway. We're 2 minutes and 5 seconds until the start. Kelly leading the field up in turn number 2 here in the warm-up period. Thompson trails back. Now Thompson needs to score well. He would love to win, but would settle for a second place here. Henderson, a boat to watch as well. The bright red, they're currently third in points. 145 away, 145. Boy, J. Michael Kelly, he just has a knack and a niche to get this lane number 1. He had it earlier today, and right now he looks safe and secure, but lots to decide before you establish your lane prior to the entrance spin of turn number 2 on the back chute. 125 away. Kelly leads him into turn number 1 here in the warm-up period, followed by Thompson. Now Henderson makes a move on the outside. Not certain if Bert will creep in front of them. If we can go the aerial, please, in turn number 1, we'll get a better idea of the lane assignments. As we're approaching 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. There is the 1 minute period. There's the aerial. So J. Michael Kelly right now remains in 1. Tom Thompson in 2, Bert Henderson in 3. And Dustin Eccles will slide to the outside in the bucket list. This entrance pin at turn number 2, this yellow buoy, you want to be here at the 16-second mark. And right now, by my watch, everybody a little bit early. You need to maintain 80 miles per hour, a planing attitude. All boats are fitted with a beacon light on top of the cowling. The officials watch that. If you violate the 80 mile per hour rule, you're issued a 1 minute penalty, and they're early. They are early. We're 20 seconds right there. We'll watch the start. Kelly in 1, Thompson in 2, Henderson in 3, swung out, tried to scrub some speed. Eccles to the outside. They're going to creep and crawl to the line. We're now 3, 2, 1, mark. And boy, by my eye, I think Bert Henderson nailed him. A nice start in lane number 3 in the Spirit of Detroit. We're racing in Unlimited 2A. The start was good. Thank you, Joe McCord. Let's go to the aerial in turn number 1. And Bert Henderson, what a gigantic lead, but that's going to go away with the two boats to the inside traveling less real estate. Henderson leads it. Thompson in lane 2 in second. It's tight in there with Kelly in third as they go up the back straightaway. And Bert Henderson, having a dynamite APBA Gold Cup here in Madison, leads it, but you can see he is on the far outside in lane 3. The boats in second and third can make up ground here, traveling less real estate. Henderson gets there first. Thompson in second. Kelly in third. A beautiful sight in front of the Milton-Madison Bridge as we come down to complete lap number 1 of Unlimited 2A. It's the veteran out of Canada, but a rookie on the tour. Bert Henderson leads it. Spirit of Detroit. Tom Thompson in second. Oh, and Kelly has went to the outside wake. He got wet in third. Kelly got wet in third, went to the outside wake. As we go into turn number 1, beautiful shot. Henderson gets there first, and Thompson fighting hard on the inside. They come off the turn. They are deck to deck here in Unlimited 2A. Thompson needs these 400. Henderson would love to get 400, but would settle for 300. They're side by side with the aerial shot on the back chute. And here comes Thompson in the chartreuse and carnival orange on the inside. Henderson, though, can keep him tight to the pins. Beautiful dueling here in Unlimited 2A. Thompson, the veteran. Henderson to the outside. These two racing Grand Prix and HRL, and now Thompson with that advantage to the inside takes the lead. We're halfway through Unlimited 2A. Tom Thompson in front. J&D's presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Bert Henderson second. Spirit of Detroit. J. Michael Kelly remains in third. Dustin Eccles in fourth. Back in turn number 1, and Tom Thompson, boy, he's drove a dandy in lane number 2. He has fought from second. He has vaulted to first. We're 2.5 in, 1.5 to go in Unlimited 2A, and Tom Thompson driving a fantastic one here in 2A. He extends it out, make it a tail and a half over Bert Henderson in second. Spirit of Detroit. Now we got to watch J. Michael Kelly in third, but time is running out. Top 2 in turn number 2. Now Kelly just enters turn number 2 in third. We look to the tower. White flag is displayed. This will be a big 400, but he's got 2 more miles to go. Tom Thompson in front. Bert Henderson in second. Beautiful shot from the aerial. Thompson now, that lead is down to a rooster tail. Henderson is not giving up as they thunder into turn number 1. And now Bert's got it down to 3/4 of a rooster. Oh, and Thompson hit a hole and went way up in the air. Oh, my. And now Henderson is there. Henderson is there on the outside. And here comes Kelly behind them. This one is not over. An exciting Unlimited 2A. Thompson just about give it away in turn 1 on the final lap. Make it 7 boat lengths. Henderson still got a charge on the outside. We'll watch the top 2. Final turn, final lap. Can Thompson hang on? Oh, he swings outside. Little hip check there. Now he tightens it up. Off the turn. Here's a big 400 points. Your winner of Unlimited 2A is Tom Thompson in J&D's, presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Second place will go to Bert Henderson in the Spirit of Detroit. J. Michael Kelly, late at the start, went through the wakes at the end of lap number 2, will get third. And the Graham Trucking, Dustin Eccles, we want to bring Dustin around to get those 4th place points in the bucket list racing. And boy, the veteran out of Maryland, Tom Thompson, drove a dandy, but he just about spilled the apples out of the basket down in turn number 1 on the final lap. You saw he hit a hole. He went way up in the air, and Bert Henderson was trying to maneuver around, but ran out of time. Dustin Eccles up in turn number 2 in the bucket list racing. Boy, these guys try. Glad they're here. Dustin Eccles will cross and get those 169 points in the 4 slot in bucket list racing. So after Unlimited 2B is finished, this will really shake up our point tally after 2 sets of unlimited heats. Thompson needed those 400, and he bagged them. What a great driving job by Tom Thompson out of Cambridge, Maryland. 56 years of age, the oldest shoe here this weekend, but without a doubt, he's on top when it comes to physical fitness. One of the best drivers in the business with his health and fitness. As he comes back into the pit dock, and Brad, you know Tom Thompson, my friend Brad, who's listening in Texas. That guy there in that chartreuse and carnival orange, he'd drive a barrel if you put an engine in it and be tough. Bert Henderson coming back in. J. Michael Kelly. Boy, that was some good dueling there. Boy, Bert Henderson's having a great day in that Spirit of Detroit. He has nailed some starts. And boy, he just about came away with 400 big ones there, but they'll take those 300. And you see the team of Shannon and Scott Rainey's, they're going down to greet their driver, and that was huge. That was huge for that team. They missed the final last weekend in Gunnersville with that gearbox problem. They worked on it this week out at the Madison, Indiana airport, got that solved, and now they're
What are you doing? You forgot about Valentine's Day.
Lock in your Valentine's order early.
H1, the H1 series here, so that's another venue for them to open up and really come into the digital age.
So you're telling me I need to get in the fast lane?
I've seen your cell phone, Jeff. Yeah, you do.
Thank you, Joe. Also, too, a couple of other avenues you can monitor on Facebook this weekend. Kirk Duncan out of Owensboro, Kentucky. He's here representing Hydro News. And, of course, our good friend over in Milton, Kentucky, the mayor of Milton, Denny Jackson, he's here as well updating with Unlimiteds on down. So plenty of resources out there on the World Wide Web for information from this weekend's APBA Gold Cup at the 69th Madison Regatta. 6 minutes, 25 seconds away, 6:25. And gentlemen, for the first time this weekend, we are getting a little bit of wind picked up, and the water is going to be ripply here for Unlimited 2B. It was pretty much glass smooth for 2A, but we're going to see a little ripple effect if this wind continues to hold up for Unlimited 2B, which is now exactly 6 minutes away. 6 minutes away for Unlimited 2B, and we'll kind of catch him off camera here. Come in here real quick, young man. Dustin Eccles, the driver of the Bucket List Racing, and my friend Brad Luce, he's listening and watching in Texas, but Debbie Gregory told him years ago, it's points, points, points. You keep scoring, you want to be on that front row tomorrow afternoon.
That's our game plan right now. That little boat, it's beating us up real bad in this rough water. So we heard a lot of equipment early, and right now we're trying to make it to the final. We're just trying to be smart, and we've got a ton of boat speed. I just can't show it right now, and it's frustrating, but we're looking good for the weekend so far.
Going back to yesterday, you had a drivetrain issue. Obviously, those issues have been corrected.
Yeah, the guys worked till 2:30 this morning, and everything is fantastic. It's funny, we're actually faster, I think, now than we were in qualifying, but we just have to save it and not be hard on the equipment.
As the drivers get ready to go out for Unlimited 2B, long chutes, tight turns here on this 2-mile track, and Dustin, that turn one is obviously the roughest part of this track.
It's the roughest turn on the whole course, and there's no way to get through it that I've found yet, so I'm just trying to mind my business and pick a good lane. That's about all you can do.
All right, I know you get help from Snush Katush, is that right?
Yeah, it's actually the owner's term for each other. It's a term of endearment. It's a Norwegian term, so it's their little sweetheart term for each other.
Well, that's my third crack at it this weekend. I had to have help on the pronunciation.
Oh, you nailed it. Yeah, perfect.
Dustin, thank you so much for joining us, and come and visit us tomorrow. And I know you're looking forward to the 3A and 3B draw. You'd love to get in that 3-boat heat.
I need the 3-boat heat. Yeah, right now everything's looking perfect with all the equipment, and I want to keep it that way. So if we can just kind of tiptoe in there without these guys noticing, that's what I'm hoping for.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Dustin Eccles with us here at the tower, the driver of the 440 Bucket List Racing. As you see on the monitor, 3:55 away from the start for Unlimited Heat 2B here on the Ohio River. First boat on the back chute is the red, white, and blue U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. Corey Peabody is the driver out of Kent, Washington. The owner is Rob Graham out of Milton, Washington. Corey Peabody had a 4th place finish back in Unlimited Heat 1A. Just about entering turn number 2 is the Home Street Blue and White. There it is. The local favorite, Miss Madison Incorporated's U6, Miss Home Street. Jimmy Shane, the pilot, a native of Havre de Grace, Maryland, now resides in Maple Valley, Washington. Of course, the 12,000 citizens of Madison, Indiana are listed as the owners. They are represented by Miss Madison Incorporated President Charlie Grooms. Shane won Unlimited 1A. Here's the boat to watch. The dominant white with the orange and yellow trim. Walled Lake, Michigan's Andrew Tate in the cockpit of the U1. Auction Marketing presents Delta Real Track. The boat owners are Lori and Mike Jones out of Lake Tapps, Washington. Andrew Tate had a third-place finish back in Unlimited Heat 1A. We still feel that wind up here at the tower. Water conditions, of course, are ideal, but you might see more of a ripple effect prior to the start in this one as we're at the 210 mark, 210. There's Corey Peabody cutting through the infield. That is a legal maneuver from the back chute to the front chute here on the Wild Bill Cantrell 2-mile layout here on the Ohio River. 155 away. Will Tate cut? Will Shane cut? I think they'll elect to go on up into turn number 2. By my watch, they need to scrub that time off, go around one more time, and get set to go here in Unlimited 2B. Andrew Tate leading them up right in front of the Milton-Madison Bridge. Shane trailing back, and there is Peabody as well behind Shane. 130 away, 130. Everybody looking well behaved. Now, will Andrew Tate elect to slide over there and try to put Shane in lane number 2? We'll see. Right now, everybody is playing nice. You saw the wake of the 1 and the 6 inside of it from the aerial. 110 away. As we're approaching the 1-minute period here for Unlimited Heat 1B. Kellen, if we can go to the aerial, thank you very much. Tate leads them down. Shane in 1, and I think everybody's going to settle this right here. Shane in 1, Tate in 2, and Peabody on the outside. 43 seconds until the start. Once again, you want to be behind that entrance pin at turn number 2 at the 16-second mark. Ideal timing mark. That way you can mash the gas, get to this start-finish line buoy at full throttle, full song without jumping the gun. And this looks to be real ideal. 25 seconds away. Tate powers up a little bit. In lane 2, Shane in 1, Peabody in 3. Beautiful shot as they enter turn number 2, and this is going to be a good start. Boy, Tate would love to get 400 to put the hometown boat in second in this one. They come off the turn. We're 5 seconds away. You see the clock. They come to the line, and now they got a little bit early. Oh, my. Oh, my. I think we got 2 of them over. Oh, boy. Joe McCord will monitor the radios. We'll call it physically in front. Jimmy Shane, your leader, and U6 Miss Homestreet. I thought they were going to be good to the line, but by my eye, I think they were over. Shane is your clear-cut leader physically. And we got word, 1-minute penalty. U6 Miss Homestreet for a gun jump. 1-minute penalty. U1 Auction Marketing presents Delta Real Track. Your leader physically running third on the course, but in first is the red, white, and blue, Corey Peabody in the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. Mistakes by drivers here in Unlimited 2B. So Shane will come down. 1 down and 3 to go. You see the strobe light flashing. So Peabody leads it, and now Andrew Tate is really slowing. Don't know if he got word on the penalty and elected to fall back. And now Corey Peabody's got some compressor stalling. Compressor stall on the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. I don't know if Shane can make up this real estate to lap or get in front of Corey on a lapse time to make up 1 minute. We will see. We will see. 1.5 in, 2.5 to go. Shane in front, and you can tell he's not running at full tilt on the back straightaway. Just trying to survive and hang on to get the 300, but boy, the U98 is not up to full snuff to the back as we look at the home street swinging way outside. Here in turn number 2, we'll come down to complete lap number 2. So 2 in the books and 2 to go, and right now Jimmy Shane setting in second position as long as the penalties stay intact.
It's your anniversary today. You could have arrived empty-handed, but you exist in a world where it's easy to get flowers this fresh. Your door.
Andrew Tate running in the third position, but running physically second on the course. in the Auction Marketing presents Delta Rail Track, and you can tell Andrew's really gotten off the throttle. Here's your leader, Corey Peabody. Oh, and he's slowing. He is slowing Corey Peabody. Boy, you can hear that compressor stalling. Shane is starting to catch up. Peabody's deficit is going away, and I think Shane might be getting word that Peabody is wounded. That Lycoming turbine engine not sounding up to full tilt in the 98. So here is Jimmy Shane. Up in turn number 2, the white flag is displayed, and it looks like this 1 minute deficit could possibly go away. Now Andrew Tate might need to get, now the 98 is slowing. The 98 is real slow. Now Shane has made up this 1 minute deficit, so this will vault the U6 Miss Home Street back up in front. Boy, Peabody is really slow. He is trying to hang on. He'd love to get those 400, but now he's probably looking at 300. Surprised Andrew Tate not got the word to maybe punch that throttle a little bit harder to run quicker. Boy, and Peabody is laboring, and here comes the hometown boat. The fans sense it in the background. That 1 minute penalty will go away. And Shane with the wounded 98, he sees it. And now the Madison will go back in front, the Miss Home Street. Wow. Checkered flag is out. Write it down in pencil. Here's your unofficial winner of the Wild and Wacky Unlimited 2B, Jimmy Shane in U6 Miss Home Street. I'm looking, Andrew Tate is in turn number 1 in the Auction Marketing presents Delta Rail Track. And boy, Andrew is really, and now the 98 keeps laboring. And Tate is real slow. Andrew Tate super slow on the back straightaway. In the U1 Auction Marketing presents Delta Rail Track. I don't know if he can hang on. So it's a battle of attrition here in 2B for the second and third place positions. Corey Peabody coming off turn number 1 right now, still running slow. So we'll keep our eye on Tate. So Tate up in, I'm going to put the watch on here. Let me get it out, Tate Meyer. I'm going to click this on when Tate comes across the start-finish line buoy. We'll set it at 1 minute. Here comes Andrew Tate, laboring, struggling to get these points. Right now it's 2:25. We just clicked it. There's the start of 1 minute. So Corey Peabody needs to get here under 1 minute to keep second place. We're 50 seconds away. Can he make it? Corey Peabody, he has now 40 seconds to get to this start-finish line buoy to maintain second place points with overall elapsed time. He is laboring. He is struggling. We are down to 25 seconds. He looks to be safe and secure. We're at 20 seconds. Can he keep it alive? 6 of the crafts powered by the Lycoming T55 turbine engine that cranks out 2,600 horsepower, 28 foot long, 14 foot wide. It's sheer madness on the water, and we're going to see it here starting in about 12 seconds to the 5 minute period. All 4 boats are in the water. You see the U7 Spirit of Detroit, nose pointed out toward the Ohio River. And there is the 5 minute period. Gentlemen, light them up. The crowd roars from the sound of the 5 minute period in the background. Water conditions are ideal. Sunshine here on this Sunday afternoon, July 7th, 2019 in Madison, Indiana. A good old boy once said 38 years ago, Madison, Indiana, a community of a little over 13,000 people. Unlimited hydroplane racing, an American folklore festival where thousands come to have some fun. And that's what we're going to do on this Sunday afternoon here at the 69th Madison Regatta APBA Gold Cup. We'll ID the boats here for you in the warm-up period, 4 minutes until the start. There's your defending champion, Andrew Tate, out of Walled Lake, Michigan, driving the U1. Oxshire Marketing presents Delta Reel Track. The boat owners are Lori and Mike Jones out of Lake Tapps, Washington. Seth Partial, the chief wrench in 2019 for the U1. The dominant red boat you see to the left-hand side of the screen, that is the Spirit of Detroit. The U7, Bert Henderson drives out of Brockville, Ontario, Canada. Dave Bardish is the craft owner out of Detroit. Dave Bardish's name is on the Gold Cup as a winning owner back in 2005 when Terry Troxell drove the Al DB Dodge to victory in Detroit. Bill Guckian is the crew chief. The red, white, and blue boat up in turn number 2, that is the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. Corey Peabody Hales out of Kent, Washington is the chauffeur. Boat owner Rob Graham out of Milton, Washington. The crew chief from beautiful Lake Chelan, Washington, Johnny Walker. And your final entry just in front of us here at the start-finish line buoy is the bright orange. That is the 440 Bucket List Racing. Dustin Eccles drives from Monroe, Washington. Sharon and Kelly Stockland are the boat owners from Snohomish, Washington. And Taylor Evans serves as the crew chief. The 440, that is the experimental craft, the 26-foot boat with the smaller Lycoming T53 in it. It cranks out 1,400 horsepower. That is a legal maneuver in the race before the race. Andrew Tate, you saw, cut through the infield, back chute to front chute. And you can cut through the infield. Thank you, Andrew Tate. And that back spot as well, front chute to back chute on the Ohio River. Locations where you cannot take your racing vessel during the warm-up period and racing activity. Each turn, draw a line from the entrance pin to the exit pin. That is a DMZ zone. The other DMZ zone right here in front of us. Draw a line from the start-finish line buoy to that orange one on the back chute into that turn 1 area in front of the GPW turn 1 course. That is a violation DMZ zone as well. 1 minute, 35 seconds until the start. We saw Bert Henderson cut through the GPW course on the back chute now. Dustin Eccles on the outside in 440. Now Bert will cut through the infield once again in the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Bert had a dynamite day yesterday with a heat win and a second place. A boat that needs some points here. Would love 400 desperately is your defending champion, Andrew Tate. And the Oxshire Marketing presents Delta Reel Track right now setting 5th on the ladder with 520. Everybody in turn number 1. Right now, Andrew Tate has a good stake at lane number 1, but when we go racing, we'll keep a sharp eye in turn number 1, as that will be the roughest spot, on this Ohio River race course. You see Tate well away from the pins. He is in 1. Bert Henderson sliding up there in the 2 lane. Corey Peabody in 3. Dustin Eccles in 4. The entrance pin at turn number 2 is where you have to have your lane established, then hold it to the line. You need to be there at the 16-second mark. And by my eye, we could be just a touch early. Eccles up there deep. Now the rest of them, boy, this is going to be marginal. We'll keep our eye on the boats. We'll keep our eye on the clock. Tate in 1, Henderson in 2, Peabody in 3, Eccles in 4. Here we come on this Sunday afternoon to begin the Gold Cup. Henderson is early. He will be over. We'll monitor the radios, and boy, a whole mess of them might be over. I think the only legal starter could be the 440. We'll call it physically as they work into turn number 1. This could be a late ruling on the start due to the water conditions and the rooster tails, but physically, Bert Henderson, your leader in the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Andrew Tate, tough negotiating on the buoy row in Oxshire Marketing Delta Reel Track. I thought Burt was over by my view, but we'll call it physically. Henderson having a dynamite Gold Cup in front. Tate in second, and boy, Peabody is up there as well. We do have the ruling. 1 minute penalty on your physical leader, Burt Henderson, in the spirit of Detroit. He will be tacked a 1 minute penalty in elapsed time. Joe, the other three were legal. Other three were legal. Thank you, Joe McCord. Here's your actual leader, Andrew Tate, in the U1. Oxshire Marketing presents Delta Rail Track. Second position to Corey Peabody, Graham Trucking, American Dream. Third place to Dustin Eccles in the Bucket List Racing. As we go back into turn number 1, has Tate gotten word that the 7 has jumped? Andrew, though, starting to make up ground. Beautiful shot off that turn. Henderson in front physically, but that gun jump puts him in 4th. I'm not certain if Tate has found out yet. He's still got a good charge on the inside, and we'll watch this activity up here in turn number 2. Burt out of Canada, Tate out of Michigan, and Tate starting to catch up. Henderson drives clean in there, leaves Tate a lane. Now they tighten it up, and now Andrew Tate, who is in first, looks to be physically going in front as they're side by side here at the start-finish line buoy as we complete lap number 2 of 4, and Tate walks it side to side with Henderson on his hip. Corey Peabody remains in second. Dustin Eccles in third. We'll watch the deck-to-deck dueling down here in turn number 1. And boy, Tate hit a hole. You got to watch that part of that racecraft here in Madison. So Tate right now comfortably in front with that blemish to Henderson and the 1 minute penalty. Peabody remains in second, Eccles in third, Henderson in fourth, but looks to be second on the track. So Andrew Tate, your defending APBA Gold Cup champion, got off to a rough start yesterday here in Madison with 2 third-place finishes. They're going to love these big 400 points here in Unlimited 3A. Andrew Tate off the turn. White flag is displayed. 3 in the books and 1 more to go for Andrew Tate out of Southeast Michigan in front. Burt Henderson is going to be disappointed. They are third in points right now, and they're looking at 169. That could drop them out of the top 4 after the completion of Unlimited 3B. But Tate comfortably in front as he exits turn number 1, going up the Kentucky shoreline here on the Ohio River. Tate, half a lap to go to victory here in Unlimited 3A. Peabody remains in second. Eccles just crossed the start-finish line in third in the bucket list. Beautiful shot from above. Andrew Tate staying well away from the pins. Final turn, final lap of Unlimited 3A here at the Gold Cup. Here's your winner in the U1. Oxshire Marketing presents Delta Rail Track. It's Andrew Tate in the U1. Burt Henderson will come across physically in second, will be issued 4th in the spirit of Detroit with that gun jump. Boy, and here's a big 300. There's 6 on the ladder. This could vault up the U98. Graham Trucking, American Dream. Corey Peabody, the compressor stall redevelops, but crosses the line safe and secure, and will take those 300. Dustin Eccles up in turn number 2 in the bucket list racing. The little boat that can do it. They keep scoring and scoring and scoring. Bucket list racing 4th on the ladder in points, and they could vault ahead of the Spirit of Detroit after this one is completed. So unofficially, as we say, write them down in pencil at home as the boats still have to go through tech inspection here with H1 Unlimited. Your unofficial winner is Andrew Tate. Second place will go to Corey Peabody. Third to Dustin Eccles. And 4th to Burt Henderson. So we see our first mistake of the afternoon as we look above and seeing the Delta Rail Track Oxshire Marketing make their way back into the pit area with Andrew Tate. Beautiful shot here on this early Sunday afternoon here in Madison, Indiana for the 69th Madison Regatta APBA Gold Cup you can just reach out and touch that U1 on the live stream through H1 Unlimited. I'll take a slight break here with the microphone, but we'll come back here quickly. Up next, Unlimited 3B. Busy pit dock here in Madison as the 4 boats returning to the pit area after Unlimited 3A. And I know Bert Henderson has to be disappointed. He's out of the cockpit right now in the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Let's see if we can go down pit side now. It looks like Owen Blauman with H1 Unlimited might be with our winner, Andrew Tate.
Behind there, how was that? A little bit behind the gun, so running in lane 1, you don't want to be behind anyone. You wanted to get there and get going ahead of them a little bit. We could dig. So yeah, it was fun. Probably look cool from here. It's rough out there though. Just in the turns? Everywhere. Yeah, more so. They're tight. They're Ohio. It's definitely a challenge, but everyone's playing golf on the same course here. There you go. Thanks. Have the day.
That's
Thank you, Owen Blauman with H1 Unlimited dockside with our unofficial winner of Unlimited Heat 3A, Andrew Tate, and the 5 minutes and 25 seconds until the start. You see the lid starting to close. Want to close them right at the last moment. Temperatures can get well over 100 degrees inside that capsule just sitting here at the dock. You can see the clock count.
Water-bound aerodynamic missile plummeting through the spray. The Unlimited hydroplanes, the powerhouses of boat racing.
We welcome back our viewers on the H1 Unlimited streaming on h1unlimited.com, also on our YouTube channel, watching from all over the world. Mark Allen along with Kay Brewer, and we're getting set for H1 Heat number 1. H1 Heat number 1 will feature the U6 Miss Home Street, our fastest qualifier this afternoon. The U7 Spirit of Detroit. Spirit of Detroit presents Boitano Homes. Okay, we're just hearing 2 minutes till 5 to the 5. Spirit of Detroit with Bert Henderson. The U11, our second fastest qualifier. J's and D's presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Jamie Nilsson in the cockpit. And the Oberto Super Salami. Jeff Bernard in the cockpit, our third fastest qualifier, the U19-18. And looking down pit row, I see 3 of those 4 boats in the water. Drivers getting in. Jimmy Shane just sitting in the cockpit now, taking the steering wheel with him. Jamie Nilsson's ride, the U11, in the water. The Oberto Super Salami in the water. So we are looking for the Spirit of Detroit, presents Boitano Homes, and they are just about to lift off the trailer. One crane working with all 4 of those boats, I think, so it's a little bit congested. But we'll get them all in, and we'll get to our countdown, and we want to thank all of our folks on the beach for helping us out, staying out of the water. Here's your countdown.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5 to the 5. H1 Heat 1.
Saturday Heat 1 for H1 Unlimiteds. And we want to thank Tate's Bake Shop for their support of Bayfair and Heat 1 here on a Saturday afternoon. They're the folks over on Vacation Island for the people who are here with us. And they've got the chocolate chip cookies.
Ooh.
Yes,
chocolate chip cookies sounds really good, Mark.
Yeah, I think we'll go for some chocolate chip cookies after we're done racing. Samples available over there at Tate's Bake Shop out in the vendor village. Those folks who are watching us on h1.com or on the YouTube channel, you're going to be out of luck. No chocolate chip cookies for you.
I guess they'll have to make the trip next year. This is a great venue. There's lots of vendors, lots of things to do, lots of different styles of racing. Next out's going to be, of course, the H1 Unlimiteds. But earlier today, if you're just joining us, we had a lot of other kinds of classes. We had the outboards, we had the 1-liters, we had the Grand Prix, we've got the cracker boxes. You name it, we got it here.
U7, Spirit of Detroit, presents Boitano Homes, coming to the water now. Boat out of Detroit, Michigan, owned by Dave Bartish, driven by Bert Henderson. Patrick Howarth, who is his backup driver this year, has had some seat time during our testing periods here on Mission Bay. Patrick will be driving the second team boat next year, boat that is being prepared. And so Patrick has gotten some seat time in the U7 and will be full-time driving as Bert Henderson's teammate next season, the 2020 H1 Unlimited hydroplane season.
I did talk to Patrick, and he was really excited for this up-and-coming season. Bert Henderson's done a great job. They are going to be a great team, and they're going to give Graham Trucking a run for their money.
Coming up on 8 minutes before the start of Unlimited H1 Heat 1, thanks to Tate's Bake Shop for their support. A little less than 3 minutes before the 5-minute gun will fire and the boats will head out onto the race course.
Mark, it looks like the wind is starting to pick up just a little bit from their qualifying and testing this morning, so that might make a factor. We might have seen some last-minute adjustments made to that home street boat earlier, so we're going to see if that pays off in this first heat.
I think the wind is probably about 6-7 miles an hour, maybe 8. Beautiful day here on Mission Bay for those of you who are watching us on the H1 live stream. About 82 degrees right now with a little bit of wind, just enough to keep you cool. Not a cloud in the sky.
Beautiful
Great day for
weather.
racing.
This is California weather is just ideal for hydroplane racing. We want to have just a little bit of a breeze because if this water is crystal clear, the boats will actually stick to the water. We want to have just a little bit of a breeze to be able to lift them up and get them some airtime.
Looking at about 6 minutes and 45 seconds to our start. A minute and a half coming up. Weather report says the winds are variable between 1 and 7 miles an hour. I'd say they're at 7 right now. Certainly not 1. But it's still perfect racing conditions. The water is still in great shape.
A lot better than what we had yesterday. Yesterday we had some whitecap conditions, which these boats are 30 feet long, 15 feet wide, so they can glide across it fairly easy, but it does make a pretty big factor because it makes this course what we call ever-changing. Turn 1 will not be the same in lap 1 as it is in lap 2 due to the weather.
1 minute to the 5-minute gun. 1 minute to the 5-minute gun, so we will have unlimited hydroplanes on the race course here now in less than 1 minute. Watch for the hatches to go down. And that will start to occur right now as the hatch goes down on the Oberto Super Salami with Jeff Bernard, his teammate Jimmy Shane in the blue Miss Home Street. And the hatch is about to go down on Jimmy. Jamie Nilsson hatches down on the J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool, the U11. And on the U6 Miss Home Street. So we are getting ready. About 16 seconds from the 5-minute gun.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5-minute gun. Green flag on the course.
Green flag, let's go racing. First boat off the dock. It's a race off the dock to see who's first. And it looks like it'll be Jeff Bernard right next to Jamie Nilsson.
A CRM shouldn't weigh your budget.
Here on Mission Bay, we're getting set for Heat 1 on a Saturday afternoon. Our unlimited hydroplanes heading out. Here goes Jimmy Shane. Hatch is still up on Bert Henderson's U7. Now Jeff Bernard kicks his Oberto Super Salami onto plane and onto the race course. Hatch goes down on Bert Henderson. And the Spirit of Detroit, Boitano Holmes. He's still at the dock, but everybody's off the boat. Jimmy Shane just about to enter the course.
All right, it looks like they're spooling up on the Boitano Holmes. We're going to send Bert Henderson out of Ontario, Canada, coming out onto the course. 4 of our fastest hydroplanes making their way out here on Mission Bay. Mark, it's going to be an exciting heat, and we've got 2 drivers that are chasing after high points in here. Jimmy Shane and J. Michael Kelly with only about 1,300 points, 1,400 points between them for national. And this here at the Home Street Bay Fair is the final race of the season, so they're going to put it all on the line on this heat.
And Kay, in the 4 boats we have on the race course, the top 3 qualifiers plus Bert Henderson. So we know these guys are pretty evenly matched, and that includes our current high point champion leader, and that's Jimmy Shane, and he is cruising slowly up the backstretch.
Jeff Bernard looks to be cruising just a little bit slowly, trolling his way into turn number 1. He did that during his testing and qualifying, and you can tell that that's what they do, is they use the testing and qualifying sessions as their way of making their plan A and plan B. Each driver has their own tactic as they leave the dock and head out onto the course.
Jamie Nilsson coming up to the SeaWorld turn. The boys did a lot of timing runs during their testing yesterday and this morning. So we are seeing what their plans are going to reveal here in heat number 1. Jimmy Shane comes through the SeaWorld turn almost at speed. He's hot-footing it now off the turn and down the front straightaway.
Keep in mind, these drivers want to be at full speed as they go across that start-finish line, but they cannot cross the start-finish line before the clock hits 0, or else they have a 1-minute penalty. 1-minute penalty mark can cost you a whole lap. That can put you from 1st to 4th in a hurry, and they need to have all the points they can by the end of the weekend.
We're at 2 minutes before the start. 1-minute gun will fire in a minute. There's Bert Henderson coming through the SeaWorld south end of the race course. Everybody else is starting to gather together as they head toward turn number 1 at the north end of the race course.
Bert Henderson hammering it down to catch up with the rest of the crew that's setting down in turn number 1. Looks to be Jeff Bernard still trying to hold on to that inside lane. Jimmy Shane in lane 2. Here comes that bright yellow boat of the J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool, driven by Jamie Nielsen. Keep in mind, he did run a very fast lap of 159 miles per hour. Not quite so in this qualifying, but he might be holding off for this heat to see if he can bring back that 159.
So it is Jeff Bernard in lane number 1, Jimmy Shane in lane 2, Jamie Nielsen in lane 3, and Bert Henderson has his foot in it to catch up with these guys as they come up the backstretch. He will be on the outside in lane number 4. And he is actually out in a lane, about almost lane number 6 right now.
As they're midway through the backstretch, we're at 54 seconds to the start. This is what we call a park and start. This is where they start fighting for lanes, and we're going to see if anybody's going to hammer down and try and do what we call a leapfrog move. Keep an eye on Jamie Nielsen. He may go from lane 1 or lane 3 to lane 1 in a hurry and try and take it away from Jeff Bernard.
Yeah, coming up to the entrance to the SeaWorld turn, it's still Bernard, Shane, Nielsen, and Henderson, inside to outside. Now Jimmy Shane has dropped back just a little bit. His timing marks say, you're a little bit early. Now everybody starts to kick up the rooster tail. Shane still looking for that lane number 2 position, but he is a little bit farther back. It's going to be Bert Henderson who is leading him down the straightaway. 9 seconds to go. Bert Henderson, Jamie Nielsen, Jeff Bernard on the inside, and Shane is lagging back. Looks like it might be a good start. We'll hear from the officials whether it is a good start or not.
The start
and
is under review. The start is under review.
Under review. Jamie Nielsen was one of the first ones across, and he is now the first one to turn left at the entrance to the north turn. But he's got 2 other boats right beside him, and he's got 1 on the right side. 4 abreast coming up the backstretch on Mission Bay in the Bill Munsey Race Course. Jeff Bernard on the inside, Jimmy Shane, and then in lane number 2, Jamie Nielsen looks to be ahead, but only by a boat or length or 2, and Bert Henderson. It is now a good start. The officials say it's a good start, and Shane has taken the lead by about 3 boat lengths over Jamie Nielsen on the inside. Jeff Bernard is only about 3 or 4 boat lengths behind both of them. So it's Jimmy Shane, Jeff Bernard, and he and Jamie Nielsen are almost dead even. Nielsen in lane 3 is a little bit behind, but right now it's Jamie Nielsen in 3rd. Jimmy Shane is, he's catching Jimmy Shane. The Oberto is catching Jimmy Shane as they go through the turn.
At the apex, your leader in the home street boat, Jimmy Shane, but he's still being challenged. He's got Jeffrey Bernard on his inside, and poking out of the rooster tail, here comes Jamie Nielsen. 3 boats midway down the backstretch, reaching speeds of over 160 miles an hour, almost to 200 miles per hour as they slam coming into turn number 2.
Jimmy Shane leading by about 2-3 boat lengths over Jeff Bernard. Jeff's on the inside, Shane on the outside. Jamie Nielsen has dropped back about a full rooster tail, but your race right now is about half a rooster tail lead by Jimmy Shane over Jeff Bernard.
Jimmy Shane, wants to take that inside lane away from Jeff Bernard, but he must give him 1 rooster tail. And look at what's going on, Mark. There's your rooster tail. We'll have to see if Jimmy Shane will take back that lane number 1 away from Jeff Bernard, shoving him out to the outside.
End of lap number 2. Shane across the finish line first. Then it's Jeff Bernard in the Oberto Super Salami down to turn number 1. And they are followed, they were followed by Jamie Nielsen.
Jimmy Shane still leading him out at turn number 2. We're doing a 4-lap heat. Jimmy Shane goes super wide, giving Jeff Bernard the inside. Here comes Jeff Bernard with that 1918 Oh Boy Oberto.
And Jeff made up a lot of ground because Jimmy Shane swung wide out into about lane number 4 or 5 maybe. And so they are almost dead even. It looks like Shane has about a 5 boat length lead, maybe not even that, as they come through the SeaWorld turn for the third and final time around. Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street. And then Jeff Bernard in the Oberto Super Salami. Tightened a turn there for Jeff Bernard.
Jeff Bernard's got the corner speed.
And he is only about 2 boat lengths behind as they come. It's a drag race to the finish. It's Jimmy Shane about 2 boat lengths ahead. Can Bernard catch him? That's going to be very close at the end. From our angle, you couldn't tell.
In third place, Jamie Nielsen comes through with the U11 Jane D's presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Bert Henderson finishing up the fleet with the Botano Homes of the U7. Great race between Jeff Bernard and Jamie Shane.
Well, that was some race.
Whew, that was a good race to watch. It looked
we are
like
still listening to the officials to give us an order of finish because from our vantage point, could not tell whether Jeff Bernard had caught Jimmy Shane or not. And he made up a whole lot of ground on that run down from the exit buoy of the SeaWorld turn. Jeff Bernard did.
looks like Jeff Bernard during that race, what I was watching from my vantage point was that Jeff Bernard had the corner speed, but Jimmy Shane had the tail end of that top end speed. So we'll see if either one of those guys makes some adjustments for the next heat, but that was very, very close between the Home Street boat and the Oberto Super Salami.
Well, what we're getting from the officials is that Jimmy Shane did hold off Jeff Bernard, but it was very, very close. Jeff Bernard finishing second, Jimmy Shane first. And then it was Jamie Nilsson, who also ran a great race, just quite didn't have the horsepower to catch those two guys up front. And Bert Henderson in the Spirit of Detroit, Botano Homes, will have finished fourth unofficially. And again, we talk about official and unofficial. Again, these boats have to go through tech check. They have to pass tech check. And those black boxes and the data that is included in them regarding engine speed and fuel flow. If they pass, they keep their positions. If they don't, they get penalized. So we will find out in a little while whether these boats have passed through tech check. But everybody coming back to the dock. Unofficial winner, the Miss Home Street U6, Jimmy Shane. Second place to Jeff Bernard. Third place to Jamie Nilsson in the J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Fourth place to Bert Henderson in the U7. Spirit of Detroit presents Botano Homes. Should mention we got so excited at the finish of that race. These were teammates who were racing each other to win. And Jeff Bernard almost caught his teammate, Jimmy Shane, both with the Miss Madison racing team, both of those boats out of the Miss Madison shop. Some great racing between two veteran drivers who just happen to be teammates, Jimmy Shane and Jeff Bernard. Kay Brewer is making her way down to the dock. We'll talk with Jimmy Shane and hopefully have a chance to talk with Jeff Bernard as well. Well, that was an exciting way to kick off H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes. Jimmy and Jeff having a great time there. Jeff jumps off the boat, goes over to Jimmy, shakes hands, pats him on the back. The others pat him on the back.
Mark, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say that was an exciting way, Jimmy, to start the H1 season here at the Home Street Presents Bayfair. You and Jeff Bernard had one heck of a battle that whole heat.
You know what? All three boats were right there. That was probably a amazing view for the fans, seeing all three boats side by side coming off that first corner. That's exactly what you get here at San Diego. It's a beautiful view from the shoreline, and you get to see the air blowing under the boats and the boats just flying on top of the water. And it was a great race at the end there between Jeff and Alberto and the Home Street boat. And just happy that we stayed clean, everybody was safe, and great win for the Miss Home Street.
It was a great run for the Home Street. It was also a really good run here for the Alberto Super Salami, driven by Jeff Bernard. You had the advantage of the inside lane the whole way through, but you kept getting stuck in Jimmy's rooster tail. There's a couple times where it looked like if you floated out just about an inch, you would have been seeing a sea of water.
Yeah, we were going to make a change going into the heat. We just ran out of time. We'll have a better boat ride for lane 1 tomorrow. Doesn't mean we're not going to keep trying to get there, but I don't know what happened to our timing marks. We were pretty late on our start, so that was disappointing, but to make it back up, run second, watch my teammates win their national championship after that heat was awesome. So 1-2 finish for the Miss Madison Racing team, and couldn't be happier. I got to thank my crew and Alberto for the sponsorship. It's my favorite race course to be at. Long weekend, keep it clean. We got one more heat today with the Alberto, so we'll go see if we'll make some changes and keep preparing for the boat for the final heat.
Well, I'll let you two teammates go do what you're going to do, which is probably start doing some strategic moves. Well, congratulations once again, Jimmy Shane of the Home Street for our first place. Way to start it off with the H1s.
So our unofficial finish for Heat 1, Saturday, Home Street Bank Bayfair Bill Muncie Cup for 2019, and we thank Tate's Bake Shop for their support of Bayfair. You just heard from Jimmy Shane, he finished first. You just heard from Jeff Bernard, he finished second. Jamie Nilsson, as Jimmy said, right there also, he finished third, and fourth place to Bert Henderson in the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Next up would be Grand Prix World Supercharged Automotive Hydroplanes at 4 o'clock this afternoon. That will be their Heat 2. And then our Heat 2 of H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes at 4:15 this afternoon. And that's Pacific time, Pacific Daylight Time, for those of you who are listening on our H1 Unlimited stream. 4:15 for H1 Heat number 2 for Saturday afternoon. So we will be back. Kay Brewer and Mark Allen up here on the pit tower. We'll be back with more H1 Unlimited racing for Heat number 2 on a Saturday afternoon. So our time again scheduled for 4:15 p.m. on that's Pacific Daylight Time. We'll see you then.
Grammarly now uses AI to help you write, not just revise. Type a prompt and generate a persuasive, mistake-free draft in seconds, personalized to your unique writing style. Download it for free at Grammarly.com.
It all starts here. By uniting the world in passion, commitment, and care, we turn the impossible into possible. Celebrate every triumph. The last day of chemo. One child's life being saved. At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, because of you, the impossible becomes possible for kids everywhere. St. Jude. Possible starts with you. Become a monthly donor today.
That was Jeff Bernard getting up on a plane. So 3 of our 4 competitors are on the course and ready to go. And there goes the hatch down, K on Corey Peabody's U98.
They've had gremlins all weekend. We talk about gremlins in the H1 pits, and they are the ones that are fighting most of them this weekend. He did not finish. He only did 1 lap for the qualifying and brought it back in. I went and talked to him to ask him, hey, why'd you only do 1 lap? He says it was getting too hot. but they made some adjustments. We'll see if that works. We're hoping Corey Peabody can make it all 3 laps.
So Corey is just getting underway, still got plenty of time, 3 minutes and 39 seconds to go before the start of our Saturday heat number 2 for H1 Unlimiteds. J. Michael Kelly cutting through the shorter course that the 1 liters and the Grand Prix use. He's on the backstretch. He's right next to Jamie Nielsen. Jamie outside of him. Jeff Bernard in the Alberto Super Salami, very slow up the backstretch.
Jamie Nielsen taking a hot lap coming down the backstretch. Might be taking one last timing run as he comes into turn number 2. At that same time, Jeff Bernard brings the spools up just a little bit. Goes through the apex at turn 2 as Jamie Nielsen slows her back down.
But J. Michael Kelly might cut through the infield, but he isn't going to do that. He's going to come around the SeaWorld turn just at the entrance buoy. And here comes Corey Peabody up the backstretch.
Jamie Nielsen and Jeff Bernard, just as they cross the start-finish line, both bring it back up to speed. Jeff Bernard trying to hold that inside lane. Jamie Nielsen maybe taking a little bit of a tactic move by trying to get in front of Jeff Bernard and then taking over that lane. We'll have to see as they come out of turn 1 to see who will have that inside lane.
Nope, they went all the way around to the north end, both at speed.
But watch what J. Michael Kelly did. He crossed the infield, cutting in, taking over lane 1 from Jeff Bernard. Jeff Bernard has to slide out into lane 2.
Corey Peabody cutting the course as well. He'll come out, and he's looking for a lane at the moment. He doesn't have one. He's got to come to the right.
And with the salt water, you do not want to get anywhere near the rooster tails of any of these boats that will what we call put out the fire. You'll see that they have added an additional piece to these hydroplanes, which is called a snorkel. That does help with the salt water to try and keep it out of the engine.
Coming down to the 1 minute gun here. White flag and 1 minute to go before the start. The guys are all parking. J. Michael Kelly on the inside.
Jeff Bernard needs to be careful with that. He just threw the rollers of J. Michael Kelly, throwing a bunch of water inside of that snorkel. Hopefully that's not going to affect him later.
Yeah, he got a lot of water, and somebody else is that's Corey Peabody is way down on power coming through. This is not a timing run for Corey Peabody. 27 seconds to go. They're a little bit early.
They are a little bit early, so they are slowing him down. That's when you can hear the compression starting, and I'm hearing a lot of that out of the 11 boat of Jamie Nielsen.
Well, Jamie is way on the outside. He could scrub off a little time by doing that. We're at 12 seconds to go. Now they kick up the rooster tails, and here comes Corey Peabody. He's trailing the field by quite a bit. But right now, it's J. Michael Kelly on the inside, and next to him is going to be Jeff Bernard. We'll see exactly what happens as they turn number 1 here 3 times around. We'll go behind the island in our view. It was a good start, and we are racing. And we've got 2 of the fastest race boats in the world side by side. There is J. Michael Kelly, there's Jeff Bernard, and Jamie Nielsen all come off the turn side by side up the backstretch at about 170 miles an hour, accelerating. J. Michael Kelly flying the boat. He loves to run the boat loose. 185 miles an hour as they come to the SeaWorld turn.
There is hardly anything touching the water on that Graham Trucking 12 boat as he goes in and dives into turn number 2. Great race for second and third. Jamie Nielsen on the outside, Jeff Bernard on the inside. Jeff Bernard driving hard in that 1918 Alberto Super Salami.
First place now at the end of lap number 1, J. Michael Kelly, followed one rooster tail behind by Jeff Bernard, and hidden in the rooster tail is Jamie Nielsen. He's about 7 boat lengths behind as Corey Peabody looks like he is coming off the race course. So we've got 3 boats that are racing for Heat 2 Unlimiteds, and it's J. Michael Kelly comes off the turn. He will swing wide. That means Jeff Bernard's got to go even farther wide.
Not giving much room left for Jamie Nielsen on the outside, but J. Michael Kelly stretching out his lead over Jeffrey Bernard.
Second and third place, what a great race between Jamie Nielsen, who these teams have put a lot into this, and they have increased their speed. He is not letting Jeff Bernard go. J. Michael Kelly with a Rooster Tail Plus lead. But the real race right now is for second and third place. About 6 boat lengths behind is Jamie Nielsen, and Jeff Bernard in second place. He's 2 or 3 Rooster Tails behind. End of lap number 2. We are at the white flag lap, and it is Jeff Bernard in second. Jamie Nielsen now a little less than a Rooster Tail behind, but it looks like Jeff Bernard may be eating into that distance between himself and J. Michael Kelly.
Wow, look at the rooster tail that J. Michael Kelly is leaving off that Graham Trucking. You can tell it is a perfectly smooth ride all the way through turn number 1. J. Michael Kelly coming down the backstretch, tapping the sponsons right to left as he comes midway down, seeing speeds of over 175 miles per hour. Jamie Nielsen out in lane 5. He's got a lot of ground to make up, but only a half a lap to go.
J. Michael Kelly, final time through the SeaWorld turn at the apex of the turn, and he's got a 4-5 Rooster Tail lead over Jeff Bernard in the Oberto Super Salami, and then it's a full Rooster Tail back to Jamie Nielsen. Down the front straightaway, take the checkered flag. It is J. Michael Kelly. The Graham Trucking, the U12, comes in first here in our heat number 2. Second across the line will be Jeff Bernard in the Oberto Super Salami. And third across the line, Jamie Nielsen. So that's unofficial. Obviously, these guys have to take their black boxes through tech check. Did not finish to Corey Peabody in the Graham Trucking American Dream. Took the boat back off the race course and into the pits. Unofficial finish in first place, J. Michael Kelly on the U12 Graham Trucking. Second place to the U1918 Oberto Super Salami, Jeff Bernard. And in third place, Jamie Nielsen in the U11 J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. So Jamie has 2/3. He ran 2 heats today. Jeff Bernard with 2 seconds. And now J. Michael Kelly will go into tomorrow's racing and preliminary heats with a first place finish. Corey Peabody did not finish. Again, the boats have to go through their tech check in order to keep their places. Heat 1 cleared the tech check, so all of the places that we gave you on the unofficial list for Heat 1 are confirmed. Home Street Bank Bayfair Bill Munsey Cup 2019, Heat number 2 for H1 Unlimiteds. Thank Tate's Bake Shop for their support of Unlimited Racing. Kay Brewer down on the dock. Talk with J. Michael Kelly when he gets out of the boat. Gets his Hans device off, gets his helmet off, have a minute with the crew.
All right, we've got J. Michael Kelly, the Graham Trucking 12 boat. J. Michael Kelly, during the 5-minute gun, we have what's called the race before the race. You did a very tactical move. You cut the course, jumped on the inside of Jeff Bernard.
Yeah, I mean, I won a lane 1. I didn't know what this thing was going to do going out there. We had some issues during qualifying. We were only able to get 1 lap in during qualifying. So safest place for me, I figured, was lane 1, so I wanted to get it. We didn't have any timing marks and stuff like that, so just go out there and, it worked out.
Well, we say that, you've got to get points, and you've got to get points. You are still just barely behind Jimmy Shane on points, but that heat might have brought you a little bit closer because, as you said in your interview, it's not over until the points are tallied on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. We're all here to race and put a good show on. And we're just trying to get faster, and we'll take what we can, and we just got to build for that final. You never know what's going to happen as the days goes on and the points, but you just got to look forward and do what you can, and that's about it.
Well, we still have a lot more racing to go. J. Michael Kelly, congratulations on that great win. You took off from the start and never looked back. Once again, congratulations, J. Michael Kelly and the Graham Trucking team.
So there's your story of the weekend. J. Michael Kelly wins heat number 2 on a Saturday. And we've got more H1 Unlimited racing coming up tomorrow. A full day of racing here on Mission Beach for the folks who are in attendance, but we've got a lot of stuff that we'll see here on our H1 Unlimited live stream. We have H1 testing tomorrow from 8:50 in the morning to 9:50, and a scheduled H1 Heat 3 from 10:30 to 10:45. H1 Heat 4 from 2:45 to 3 tomorrow afternoon, and our winner-take-all final at 4:10. H1 final tomorrow afternoon, Pacific Daylight Time at 4:10. So this is Mark Allen for Kay Brewer and all of our crew here from H1 Unlimited, presenting the H1 stream to you. We thank you for watching, and we will be back again with you tomorrow morning for H1 testing at 8:50 a.m. Have a good evening, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, I'm Katie with StreamYard, and today I'm going to teach you about our new feature, Local Recordings. We are super excited to give you even more.
A water-bound aerodynamic missile plummeting through the spray. It's the unlimited hydroplanes, the powerhouses of boat racing.
Want to get everybody out of the water and off the sand. Both sides of Mission Bay over on Fiesta Island and here on Ski Beach as East Vacation Island are denizens of the Ski Beach area. We need to make sure you are out of the water and off the sand. Home Street Bank Bay Fair, Bill Muncie Cup 2019 Heat 3 for Sunday. Sponsored by Home Street Bank. Here's our lineup for Heat 3. The U6, Jimmy Shane, the Miss Home Street, our brand new national unlimited hydroplane champion.
And in the bright red 7, Spirit of Detroit will be driven by Bert Henderson.
The U11, J&D's, presented by Reliable Diamond Tool, driven by Jamie Nilsson.
Graham Trucking, number 12, driven by J. Michael Kelly.
And the U98, Graham Trucking American Dream, driven by Corey Peabody. We look down our pit road, we see the 6, we see the 7, we see the 98 just coming to the water. And the 11.
If you're just joining us today, Sunday, this is the 3rd day of racing, and it has been an exciting weekend of racing. J. Michael Kelly has been chasing down Jimmy Shane, but yesterday, as you just said, Jimmy Shane wrapped it up and is your 2019 national champion. He is the Home Street Bank boat, bright blue and white. Jimmy Shane, the one to watch. J. Michael Kelly, their speeds are very close in qualifying, and they're both very aggressive and veteran drivers in the H1 series.
About 6.5 minutes to go before our Heat 3 start. All 5 boats in the water. You see the 2 Graham boats. Spirit of Detroit presents Boitano Homes, Bert Henderson's ride.
One of our only Canadian drivers comes out of Ontario, Canada. And we have an interesting story with that. There's 2 drivers. They share the seat. Him and Patrick Hayworth are working together on this Boitano boats. Patrick went out on Friday for a test run and ran some really fast laps.
He will actually be driving the U7 in Heat 4 for the Unlimiteds later this afternoon, Patrick Hayworth. And next year he will be driving the 2nd boat that this team will be fielding. So he's getting some seat time here and some racing time later this afternoon.
And we can't forget about the J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Jamie Nielsen brought in midway through the 2019 series. He did a 1:59, the fastest that boat has ever driven before. They have really become an up-and-coming boat to watch. It is the bright yellow boat, beautiful boat to take photos of. If you go to the H1 Facebook,
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5 minutes on the course, green flag, 5 and a gun.
Green flag, let's go racing. We got 5 unlimited hydroplanes and they are about to leave the dock. It's going to be Bert Henderson first off the dock. The hatch goes down on Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street.
A CRM shouldn't set your teams back.
J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking, the lids drop down. We'll be seeing him leaving the dock here shortly, heading out onto the Mission Bay. This is a beautiful course. The weather has changed dramatically from 7:30 this morning. We had a huge cloud cover this morning. Clouds have lifted. Beautiful day out on the water. Excited to see Heat 3A. J. Michael Kelly.
J. Michael Kelly. We didn't have a chance to properly welcome all of our viewers on our H1 live stream, so I guess we should do that now as the boats are coming out of the pits. Mark Allen along with Kay Brewer. We are atop the pits. We're watching the boats go right almost underneath us, but not quite. We've got a great vantage point here, about 25 feet up.
And for those that are listening in on the live stream, we do once again, Mark, thank them for listening in. But make sure you cue in and say where you're listening from. It's always fun to see where everybody is listening in from. Make sure you cheer on your team and put lots of comments on there for you viewers that are here at the race site. Make sure you go to the H1 live stream and watch from there as well.
Keeping our eye on the last boat still at the dock. Now just starting that Lycoming T55 L7C turbine engine. That is Jamie Nilsson and the J&Ds, presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. And Jamie comes on the course a little more than 2.5 minutes, about 2 minutes and 40 seconds before the start.
Mark, for our listeners and our viewers here that are just joining us today, can you give everybody an insight of what is going on in the course? The boats are spread all across the course. Can you tell us exactly what they're doing and how the starting procedure works?
Well, they are doing the milling period, is what they term it. They're trying to get the inside lane, and to do that, they need to stick that boat in the inside lane, which might see some crossing from one side of the race course to another, to try to sneak into lane number 1. So looks like J. Michael Kelly coming up the backstretch toward us. And he's followed by Corey Peabody in the Graham Trucking American Dream.
These two are teammates in the American Dream and J. Michael Kelly. Corey Peabody was a crew member on the Graham Trucking and then was able to get some seat time, and now he's out here at Bay Fair 2019.
We still have boats all over the race course, but Jamie Nilsson is going to cut the course on the upper end of the race course. He will come through where the Grand Prix and our 1 leaders have their north turn, actually, and now Jamie has stuck himself into lane number 1. Looks like Bert Henderson is next to him. Put the glasses on him and see. That is J. Michael Kelly. Bert Henderson come flying through that Grand Prix north turn, and he will slide out. Lane number 1 is Jamie Nilsson, J. Michael Kelly in lane number 2. Outside of them, it looks like Jimmy Shane will be in lane number 3. We're at 1 minute to go. The white flag is up. Corey Peabody will be way on the outside. Plowing water just a little bit as they come to the entrance to the SeaWorld turn. 49 seconds to go.
They are really early, and plowing the water, like you're saying, could be a factor, because if any of that salt water gets into those snorkels, they can what's called put the fire out.
We got Bert Henderson in lane number 2 now. Jimmy Shane will be in lane 3. J. Michael Kelly in lane 4. They are 30 seconds away. Normally, from the exit buoy down to the start finish line, it's about 12 seconds. So you can see that they are still very early at 22 seconds to go before the start.
And what's happening now, you can hear a popping noise. That's basically compression noise that's going on. And with 14 seconds to that start finish line, J. Michael Kelly is starting to hammer it down. He's going to nail that start from lane 3 and go flying by Jamie Nilsson and Bert Henderson.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's your start. There is your start. Jamie Nilsson leads him across the line and into that first turn. It is a good start. So we are racing Heat 3, sponsored by Home Street Bank.
J. Michael Kelly out in lane 3, but here comes that bright blue boat of Jimmy Shane side by side as they come out, and Jamie Nilsson able to hold on to that inside lane. We'll see if he can hold them off all the way through the backstretch. Speeds of over 150 miles per hour.
Jamie Nilsson on the inside, but your leaders on the race course, it is J. Michael Kelly about a boat length ahead of Jimmy Shane out in lanes 4 and 3 respectively. Now Shane has pulled out about a 1 boat length lead.
As a wall of water comes flying up, coming into turn 2, lap 1 of 3. Jimmy Shane bringing him around. Jamie Nilsson on the inside. He needs to stay out of that wall of water.
Jamie Nilsson, he is about dead even with J. Michael Kelly. They're only about 3 or 4 boat lengths separating Jimmy Shane from both Jamie Nilsson and J. Michael Kelly. Down to the first turn, lap 2, 3 times around. We can see where J. Michael Kelly is as soon as they turn toward us and head up the backstretch. Jamie Nilsson's fallen back just a little bit on the inside. Here comes Jimmy Shane around the turn and heading for us. And there's J. Michael Kelly on the outside. Now Shane went out just a little bit farther out. Kelly had to go out farther too.
That shoved J. Michael Kelly out farther, giving Jamie Nielsen the advantage. Jamie Nielsen on the inside, the shortest way around the course. He needs to keep that boat flat and level, but he was seeing speeds of over 159 miles per hour. Jamie Nielsen on the inside.
Nielsen is in second place. He can't see, but his spotter can see where J. Michael Kelly is, but Kelly now has fallen back about a rooster tail behind, but Jamie Nielsen is starting to pick up ground on Jimmy Shane, only about 6 boat lengths behind as they cross the line at the end of lap number 2. Jimmy Shane, then Jamie Nielsen, then it's back to J. Michael Kelly, and it's still only a 4 or 5 boat lengths lead for Jimmy Shane over Jamie Nielsen. Jamie Nielsen is showing a lot of boat speed. They have upped their speeds and upped their times throughout the weekend. Ran some very fast times. Coming on the last lap. Yes, last lap, white flag. Jimmy Shane. He is outside of Jamie Nielsen, but only by about 5 boat lengths at this time as they're halfway up the backstretch, Kay.
Jamie Nielsen getting a little loose coming down the backstretch. He knows he has to drive this boat to the very vertical edge to be able to try and catch up with Jimmy Shane, but he's only got a quarter of a lap to go.
Tight turn for Jamie Nielsen, and he picked up some more ground. It's a drag race down to the finish line at the end of lap number 3. Jamie Nielsen trying to catch Jimmy Shane, but he's not going to do it. Across the line, first would be Jimmy Shane, second will be Jamie Nielsen.
Third, J. Michael Kelly coming out of turn number 2, making his way down to the checkered flag, and about a half a boat length or rooster tail behind is going to be Bert Henderson of the Vitano Homes.
Farther back as the heat wore on. So our unofficial order of finish, boats all have to go through tech check in order to make it official. First place to Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street. Second place to Jamie Nielsen. What a great race Jamie Nielsen gave Jimmy Shane. Wow. And Jamie Nielsen's got something to show in that boat. As we said during the race, they started out with testing laps about 145, 148, and ended up 148, 158. They had 155 in the middle there. They kept tuning the boat up faster and faster. And now a second place, and he really chased Jimmy Shane for that first place spot, but Jamie Nielsen ends up in second. J. Michael Kelly in third in the Graham Trucking, fell back about halfway through the heat. Fourth place to Bert Henderson in the Spirit of Detroit presents Boitano Homes. Everybody coming back to the dock. Corey Peabody actually came off the course and brought the boat back to the pit area. J. Michael Kelly coming back into the pits, and Bert Henderson is following him. Jamie Nielsen stopped a little bit short at the dock, and he is not floating very well toward the dock, so somebody's going to have to come and get him, give him a little bit of a tow.
All right, I've got the winner of Heat 3A, Jimmy. That was a great heat, but Jamie Nielsen was right on your heels. He did not let you have that win easy.
No, Jamie's running great. You know, I think 4 boats qualified within 2 mile an hour of each other on yesterday. So the competition, we have a lot of quality boats here, and just to stay out ahead of them that heat, there was 3 of the fastest boats here, and to stay out ahead is good for the Miss Home Street. That we're going to keep trying to do that all weekend long, obviously. And another great run. We're trying to race smart, race safe, be clean, and make good starts, and we accomplished that heat.
Well, you've accomplished that all year because yesterday you wrapped it up. You are now the 2019 National Champion point winner. You get to put the 1 back onto this boat. Are you excited?
Oh, very excited. Most excited for the team. This is a team accomplishment. Obviously, it's a culmination of all the races throughout the season, so this really goes to the team, how the team works as a whole, our cultural values, and the goals that we strive to achieve as a team, and to be able to be successful and bring home the national championship for the team as a whole. That's all you can ask for.
Well, you do have a great team backing you up. I'm going to let you get down there and go help your team get your boat out of the water, and we're going to see you later on this afternoon. Congratulations once again, Jimmy Shane and the Home Street team.
Mobile games are going big. Play the official PC version of
Four very fast competitors going out on the water.
We do, and we have a driver now. Patrick Howarth in the U7 Spirit of Detroit presents Boitano Holmes as a rookie. This is very early in his career as an unlimited hydroplane driver, and so he will be starting on the outside and behind by 5 seconds. So when you see Patrick back and back of the crowd as they come around to make the start, that's why he is where he is supposed to be.
Exactly, and he only has to do that until he's completely qualified, and then he can start and join the rest. Jamie Nielsen had to do the same thing back at the beginning or middle of the season because he came into the season midway through.
Yep, so he's going to be, that's where the red U7 you will see, he will be back in back of the pack, and he'll be on the outside lane. So this time he'll be in lane number 4.
He did go out and do some test laps on Friday and Saturday and did a great job at 100, and I believe he was hitting 155 miles per hour averaging.
So we're just waiting for that 5-minute countdown. Five-minute countdown should be coming up in less than a minute. Here comes our count for the 5-minute gun. Race boats on the water at 5 minutes.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5-minute gun. Green flag on the course.
Green flag on the course. Green flag. We're ready to go racing.
right, boats are leaving the docks. First out for the call is going to be J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking. Jeff Bernard in the Oboyo Berto Super Salami in the 1918. Jimmy Shane taking it easy coming out off the dock. He wants to make sure he does not get any of this salt water into the cowling mark because that will actually put the fire out. So he has to really take a different approach leaving the beach.
And right now, Jimmy Shane has done the S-turn entry to the course. We talked a little bit about that earlier on the weekend. The boats used to just go straight out and they'd get a whole lot of water down that snorkel, and not only does it put the fire out, but it cakes salt up on the turbine blades, overheats the engine. So they have devised this S-turn process, and that seems to help out quite a bit.
All right, just a reminder to our swimmers, they must be out of the water. That is for your safety and the safety of those around you. You must be up on the grassy knoll. So once again, swimmers must be out of the water. J. Michael Kelly coming into turn number 2, maybe making one more timing run. J. Michael Kelly is well known for making a perfect start on the inside lane. We're going to see where Jimmy Shane made it around the course. He is down on turn number 1. Jeff Bernard creeping his way down the backstretch in the 1918 Oberto Super Salami.
And Jimmy Shane just coming off the north turn, head up the backstretch. Patrick Howarth came through the SeaWorld turn.
Two minutes and 44 seconds to the start.
So we still have boats all over the race course. The unlimited hydroplanes, folks on the beach, we've been telling you about the score-up procedure for the Grand Prix and the 1 liters. That does not apply for our unlimited hydroplanes. They will make the tours of the course, get the lanes that they need, the lanes they want to be in, and then make that run down to the start.
Which is what we would call the race before the race. These, when
2
they're
minutes.
fighting for these lanes, and it looks like Patrick's opting to go through the middle of the course, make one more lap around. J. Michael Kelly creeping his way up the backstretch.
So Patrick Howarth cuts through the course, heads out to the outside lane. It's where he needs to be as a rookie. Getting a little seat time in preparation for 2020 in the H1 Unlimited season, and he will be the primary driver of Dave Bardish's second boat.
With 1 minute and 28 seconds, I think J. Michael Kelly is going to be extremely early. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to shake off enough time before he comes across that start-finish line. And coming hard with Rooster Tail full bore, it looks like Jimmy Shane, but here comes Patrick. But keep in mind, he must start behind the rest of the fleet.
So he came through the lower end of the race course to join up the rest of the fleet. 1 minute, the 1 minute gun has sounded. You're going to have J. Michael Kelly on the inside. Next to him on his right will be Jimmy Shane, then Jeff Bernard, Jimmy's teammate, and far on the outside will be Patrick Howarth in the U7 Spirited Detroit.
Looks like it might be a pretty close start. Like I said, J. Michael Kelly trying to scuff off as much time as he can, but I'm not sure. We are right now at 35 seconds to the start.
Got to remind people that they need to be off the beach. Everybody's out of the water, but you need to be off the beach as well as out of the water. So here we come. Jimmy Shane with his Rooster Tail up in lane number 2. Here comes Jeff Bernard. On the way on the outside where he's supposed to be is Patrick Howarth. We're at 10 seconds. It's about a 12-second run, so they should be in decent shape. J. Michael Kelly actually trailing the field, and Patrick Howarth along with Jimmy Shane, and we can't see. It is a good start. A good start. So we're racing in our final preliminary heat number 4. J. Michael Kelly on the inside. Right next to him is Jimmy Shane, red boat, blue boat. And I'll bet Jeff Bernard is right next to them as they come off the turn, lap number 1 of 3 times around. Kay, who do we got coming off the turn?
It's going to be Jimmy Shane leading him out of turn 1. We've got 3 wide on the inside. J. Michael Kelly, Graham Trucking in the middle in lane number 2. Jimmy Shane in the home street bank. Jeff Bernard powering the Alberto Super Salami and the 1918 as they hit speeds of over 185 to almost 200 miles an hour coming into turn 2.
Jimmy Shane leads him into the SeaWorld turn. On his inside is J. Michael Kelly in second. On the outside of Jimmy Shane is his teammate Jeff Bernard in the Alberto Super Salami. He's in third place, but right now it is Jimmy Shane down the front straightaway, being chased by J. Michael Kelly about 4 boat lengths behind, and falling back just a little bit in third place is Jeff Bernard and Patrick Howarth in fourth.
J. Michael Kelly still sticking his nose in there. Jimmy Shane cannot come over and take back lane number 1 until he has a rooster tail advantage. J. Michael Kelly is only a half a rooster tail behind Jimmy Shane, and he's powering it down, putting down the throttle all the way down. He wants to catch Jimmy Shane. We are only 1 of the 3 laps in on this heat 4.
Up the backstretch they come, Shane, and then it is J. Michael Kelly, only about a 3 boat length lead. Guys on Ski Beach can't see J. Michael because he's hidden in the rooster tail. Jeff Bernard has fallen back into third place, but Jimmy Shane retains the lead as they come to the SeaWorld turn. J. Michael Kelly behind him by about half a rooster tail.
J. Michael Kelly still sticking his nose in there, and here comes Jeff Bernard in the Alberto at the third place. Going to stay in that position because he knows he's safe. He wants to hold that equipment, but J. Michael Kelly is just pushing it to the limits, trying to catch up to Jimmy Shane in the home street bank.
He made a great turn, J. Michael did, and we'll see if he can do it again. The upper turn, he made a really good run on Jimmy Shane. We'll see if he can do it in turn number 1. We are on the white flag lap. This is lap number 3. We'll see if J. Michael Kelly will have a really, really tight turn. He's coming up on Jimmy Shane, real close to the buoy line. Oh man, he could have reached out and touched that yellow buoy. They're about 2-3 boat lengths apart right now, and they're only about 20 feet apart. Up the backstretch at 175, 180 miles an hour. Jimmy Shane with a 1 boat length lead over J. Michael Kelly as they come to the SeaWorld turn for the final time around.
J. Michael Kelly's got the turn speed, and Jimmy Shane, he's got the top end, but they're only a half a lap to go. They're coming down to the start-finish line. 1 straight stretch to go. Can J. Michael Kelly catch up to Jimmy Shane, running out of real estate?
Another great turn by Kelly. But Shane's got the acceleration down the front straightaway. It's still going to be a drag race. It's going to be decided by only 3 or 4 boat lengths. Jimmy Shane across the line. J. Michael Kelly across the line just that fast. And they are followed by Jeff Bernard. He will finish third on Mission Bay. And Patrick Howarth, he will come off of the SeaWorld turn and pick up fourth. Whoa, that was a great race between those 2 guys.
So we see that a lot. Those 2 are really close in speeds, both veteran drivers, both aggressive drivers. J. Michael Kelly had the inside lane, but Jimmy Shane has just got that 1/10 of a mile an hour over J. Michael Kelly and was able to hold off and win that heat 4.
The results on the water was almost a little too difficult to tell, but Jimmy Shane did take the heat. J. Michael Kelly by about 3 or 4 boat lengths, finishing second. Third place to Jeff Bernard and the Super Salami, and fourth to Patrick Howarth in the U7 Spirit of Detroit presents Boitano Homes. So now we wait for the championship heat for the Bill Munsey Cup 2019. That is what we've got left here for our H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes. We've got 1 Grand Prix heat, and that's their final, and that'll be coming up at 3:50 this afternoon. 4:10 is the scheduled start time for our Bill Munsey Cup Championship for Unlimited Hydroplanes here on Mission Bay. Kay Brewer down on the ramp, ready to talk to Jimmy Shane as he comes off the deck of the boat. Nice run by Patrick Howarth in the U7 Spirit of Detroit presents Boitano Homes. He was on the outside. He didn't start behind, but he is a veteran hydroplane driver and actually did some testing laps in this boat here earlier, and I believe he had some testing laps in the boat at earlier races this season. So Patrick is certainly well experienced and knows this boat. He will be the primary driver next season for the second boat that Dave Bartish will be entering in the 2010 H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Series.
All right, we've got Jimmy Shane, the winner here of the home street. You had an incredible heat, an incredible start. You had some fierce competition with J. Michael Kelly. He was on your inside, and he just kept making you earn your keep if you wanted to keep that first place position.
Yeah, fastest way around the race course still on the inside, and Mike's really well known for grabbing that inside lane. So fortunately, I had a little bit better start, got down to that first turn, and I was able to keep him honest, but hold him to a tight lane one. And I think that made it tough for him to get through there. So great race for the fans, great just show all the way around. And the 5 boat with Mike, the 12 boat's running great. So we're looking forward to coming in. We're nice and clean coming into the final heat, and it's going to be a barn burner. Winner take all final heat.
Well, we can tell from here that it's starting to get a little bit windy here. The water is starting to ripple up a little bit more. I noticed on the backstretch you were still running smooth, but I did see a couple times going into turn 1 that your rooster tail, if you watch the rooster tail, it starts to jump around. What was going on in turn 1?
Yeah, it's a totally different feeling when you're inside the cockpit compared to what the conditions look like from the shoreline. There's a lot of rough water on that front stretch, and we were hitting some pretty good wakes, which made it challenging to keep the boats on the water. It makes it exciting for the fans, though, so keep an eye on those boats hopping and jumping out of the water, and hopefully the wind lays down a little bit for this final heat. That'd be nice for all the drivers, but we all got a race in it.
Well, the fans are here for a good show, and you and J. Michael Kelly just gave them one heck of a show. Congratulations on your first place, and once again, congratulations on being the National High Point winner for the Home Street Bank.
Attention to the pits. Gunnar O'Farrell, we need you to report to the Oberto Super Salami 1918 truck. Gunnar O'Farrell to the truck for the Oberto Super Salami U1918.
All right, I've got Patrick Hayworth. And Patrick, this is your first official race as an H1 driver. Can you tell me your perspective in being in the cockpit?
Oh, it went really well. I spoke with Rick this morning. He told me just to make sure I could start with everyone, but just make sure that I start and hug the outside buoys and stay out of trouble. And that's what I tried to do. So it was a long course around for me since I was in lane 6 or 7 all the way, but no, it was pretty cool. It was the first experience and knowing with regards to what an unlimited race was.
All right, and you had a great start. Everybody else started with a park and start, but you took a different approach to it. Everybody else was a park and start, and I noticed you took a flying start.
Well, it's just that, I thought everybody would be, more on the gun, but it was a safe start for everyone, and I just tried to stay out of trouble, and, like Rick said, just hug the outside buoys and stay there, and that's what I did.
All right, well, you did a great job. Congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing you in the 2020 season. Mark?
Thank you, Kay. Just remind our folks who are watching on our H1 stream and everybody here on Mission Bay, we're giving you unofficial results because these boats each have a black box, records data. They are limited in a couple of the parameters that their engines will report back to that data. They got to go to the truck and read them out. Now, we've had clean heats in each of our 3 preliminary heats so far. Nobody had any problems with the data, and so we're waiting a word to make sure that the 4th heat was clean and everybody passed tech. But right now we're down to 2 heats left to go, both championship final heats. The Grand Prix World Supercharged Automotive Hydroplanes racing for the Secretary of the Navy Cup. That's right. We'll tell you a little bit about that in just a little while. Grand Prix World Supercharged Automotive Hydroplanes final heat at 3:50 is scheduled this afternoon. And then it's our winner-take-all Bill Munsey Cup Championship heat at 4:10 this afternoon.